We're here tonight. It's going to be a great night, mostly because Dave's back. Um, I was starting to think you were mad at me. That happens sometimes because I'm an abrasive a-hole. So I just, I'm glad you're back. I really am. And when I heard your voice, I'm like, oh, he's back. But anyway, yeah, so that's awesome. We've got a lot of cool stuff. I actually need your help with the project we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm making the ultimate Southwest Florida 8-page quick reference guide, and I'm already about 6 pages done with it, and I'm trying to get it all proofread as I go. And I would really love to get your input on you and your club down there, actually input on the repeaters, and we'll hit those in just about 20 minutes or so. I'm actually going to go down through them and take a peek, and you can see what I have. And then I'm going to put the link in the chat room as soon as we start, and you guys can go right into the form that I'm building and leave me notes in there. It's really cool. So we're going to do all that here in just a few minutes. What this area lacks is a standard frequency list, and what this area lacks is a guide that basically what you can hand a new ham in Southwest Florida, and it's everything they need to know, and that's what I'm really working on here. And so we're gonna get into that. But before we do, there's 3 other things we're gonna talk about tonight. One of those, and later on tonight, I've been learning video editing on another program, and I really love it. And I'm going to show you guys the program. It's free. You can download it. Not free to try. Not free for the cheap version. Not free for the one that only does low def. Not free for the one that has the logo in the corner. But absolutely free version of a video program. And by then, Joseph will be in. He's at a ham radio meeting this evening. He'll be in a little while. And when he comes in, we're going to talk about that later, because him and I are both getting back into video editing again a lot. I'm going to have custom opens and stuff here before long, and it's going to get a lot fancier. And I'm going to show you guys how I did a project for one of my clients. So I thought that'd be pretty cool. And we're going to do that here later on tonight in the second half of the show. Also, right up front here, as soon as we get started here, I want to mention this, and then we'll also talk about it later once Joseph gets in, but we're looking to rebrand the show. I started this thing as a local net, and what I realized was, all it takes is a few local people not liking you, and next thing you know, a lot of the local people won't participate with you, and it turns into a big mess. And what I also realized was this needs to be more of a national thing. I think we could actually get people from all over the world come in here that speak English, of course. I think this is something. Boy, it's still pouring outside. I think this is something that would benefit everybody, and I don't see why it needs to be limited to Southwest Florida or only to towns that have tech teams or whatever. So what I'm proposing to change the name to, and you guys are my tech team. I want to ask you guys, what do you think? I'm thinking about something really simple, and I want your input. And you guys can sway me. I haven't changed anything yet. I want to hear what you have to say, and I'm looking for ideas tonight. But if I don't get anything I like tonight, as of tomorrow, it's going to be called the Friday Night Tech Net. It's simple. It explains when we are, and I think it distinguishes us as more of a national entity and less of a local entity. I'm not looking to be a local club. That's not ever what I wanted to be. I want to do this as something where we involve people all over the country, all over the world, in Zoom in here with us. We've already got we got techs in Atlanta. I'm hoping to get a guy named Atlanta in Texas, but we'll see if that happens. But anyway, we've got people. I haven't met him either yet, but we're looking for one. You got to have a yin and a yang. But anyway, I would like to see people from all over the country and all over the world, even if they can participate language-wise with us, and we can work through problems and do things like we always do, but get a little bit bigger crowd in here. And so that's what we're trying to do. So I'm going to open it up for discussion, and I want to see what everybody thinks about this whole thing. Do you guys think we should change the name? Maybe there's people that think we shouldn't change the name. I'm looking for any input. Who would like to go first?
I was sleeping. What was the name you suggested?
I suggest the name Friday Night TechNet.
I like it.
Yeah, I've come to like it. When I first tried it about 6 months ago, I was thinking about doing this, and I couldn't like it. I didn't like it. This is not the first time we've even spoke about this, guys. But this time I'm serious. I want to change it. Who else? Anybody else have any comments?
I'm not 100% sure about the Friday night. I'm just wondering whether it can't be just a TechNet.
Well, there's tech nets all over the country. Now, granted, we're the only one that does it in this format. But
Well, about something like the, TechNet virtual clubhouse or something like that.
what do you guys think? I mean, tell me. I don't know.
I mean, the Friday night kind of narrows us down, doesn't it? I mean, if for some reason, I don't know, all sorts of things can happen and we change the day, then we're kind of screwed. But I mean, yeah, we don't have to change the.
Well, if we change the day, I'll just change the name at that point because I mean, I don't foresee us changing the date because it's one of those things where I think we found a niche here where there is a lot of people in what we do that don't go out drinking or looking for things they probably should leave alone on Friday nights. Most of us are home now with our wife in the other room, and we're doing our thing here. And Friday nights work for a lot of us. So I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't think we're going to change the date. And if we do change the date, we'll change it. That's not a problem. But I just don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I keep coming back to Friday Night TechNet because I'm trying to eliminate the region. I want to get Southwest Florida out. It's also confusing to people. SWFL. If you're from Tennessee, you might not know what SWFL means. You might think it's a software company in Brazil. So who knows?
If you let Mr. Google go looking, he tells you there's a bunch of things.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So I think if we went with Friday Night TechNet, I put in Friday Night TechNet, I don't really get a lot back. I don't think there's any ham radio. Like if you type in the Google Friday Night TechNet and then ham radio, there's really nothing.
No, there's a bunch of TechNets though. There's, like you say, technetprofessional.com, TechNet, the voice of innovation and economy.
Well, that's because they put TechNet first. If you put amateur radio,
TechNet, that might be better. Or
you might want to include amateur radio.
Yeah, that's your point. Yeah.
Google sees those two. Google generally sees those two phrases as the same thing. I tested that a while back.
Sees what is he saying?
Ham radio and amateur radio. It sees
Yes.
those as the same thing.
Yes.
The only difference is sometimes when you put ham radio, you'll end up getting like recipes and shit too. So,
Right. But so you put amateur radio tech team alphabetically. That comes before everybody else. That's the old put things in, get your name first in the yellow pages kind of crap.
yeah, there's a guy that mentions that they do a TechNet on Friday night on his QRZ page. I'm trying to see what there
there's
there
another
is.
one on a Friday night called Absolute TechNet.
Right.
It's a technology net for ham radio operators and others that cover a broad spectrum of technology. Sounds really just like us. All tech-related topics are
That's
open
right.
for discussion, so you're invited. I'm going to go and look at their website. That
But
sounds
they're not using Friday Night TechNet. They've got their own name.
No, they got Absolute TechNet.
That's
Right.
a
Yeah,
digital
but they
net.
are on Fridays.
It's digital. You can get it to a hotspot or Wires X.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're real. They're real. So it's an audio net, is it?
Yeah,
Audio and visual, because it looks like it's on Zoom.
it could be. I think it's Skyhub link.
Yeah, I've got, but it's on Echolink, it's on All Star, DMR, Wires X. Oh, okay. They're a real, yeah, it looks like it's a radio,
Right.
an audio net, not a
No.
visual. But
Oh, me.
so I've lost it. It did say Friday night when I Googled it, but it doesn't say anything about Friday
Right.
night on there.
I'm
Their
not getting
website.
I'm not getting any actual entity or show or net or anything coming up that comes up Friday night TechNet. I mean I've done some searching, so I think we're cool with that name as far as we're not gonna I really don't like stepping on people's toes. That's why we do this on Friday night. Because it was either Friday night or Saturday night, because I have friends that have nets on all the other nights and I don't want to piss in their parade. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not gonna wait. Thursday night we got two good nets. We got clubs that meet on Monday night, and we got the newbie net. We got the Wednesday night net. We got a lot of clubs that meet on Tuesday nights. Every night has a problem except Friday and Saturday night, and we ended up on Friday night because Saturday night's my wife's. So that belongs to my old lady.
It's not too much of a mouthful, but it is a little bit of a mouthful. We could have the Friday night ham radio TechNet, and that would in the searches that would bring people the ham radio guys.
Is there any way to shorten that? Friday night ham radio TechNet.
I mean, like Dallas, I would like to see ham radio in it.
I would too.
That's like a very narrow field, but that's what we do. I mean, look at my picture, look at your picture. What do we see other than monitors? If we squint, we can see radios, ham radios.
Wait a minute.
So-
I'm in the kitchen.
You
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
you need to
refrigerator.
you need to tidy your fridge. Yeah,
It's like, no, what they're thinking is, look, that guy's got a drinking problem. He pulled his chair right over there by the refrigerator.
That's one of three refrigerators.
There you go.
Freezers in the garage.
yeah, me too. I got two in the garage. Well, one freezer,
Oh, that
one
was
freezer
bad.
refrigerator
Two freezers.
in the garage, and then one in the kitchen. But I'm trying to look at everybody else's picture. Well, I guess everybody's got their cameras on top of their radios or something other than Ian and myself. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to have ham radio in it. I know it's not really clumsy. It kind of rolls a little bit, but it's not great, is it?
We might want to think, let's don't do it right away. Let's just think about it and give us some
I'm
time.
willing to, we'll give it a week and we'll meet back here next week.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it some more at the end if you guys want to.
'Cause I'm the type of person, I'll think of something in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. Well, I'm not going to call you at 3 a.m., but I sure as heck would like to be able to do that because that's what I do my best creative type stuff. We need to be creative. And
I
whatever.
agree. And Joseph's got some people up there that are getting involved with him, and I want to include them in what we're doing and everything. And it's kind of hard to do that when this is the Southwest Florida TechNet. I want to change our YouTube channel name as well to where it will be the same name as us, and we'll be able to do that without losing our subscribers or anything. So, but I instead of it saying SWFL TechNet, which confuses people, I'd much
Yeah.
rather it say something that explains it. Friday Night TechNet at least explains kind of what it is and when it is. But like I said, I'm wide open. I really
I want
am.
to think of
Yeah,
some kind of
I'm
crazy
just-
acronym too.
I'll be honest with you guys. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I hate the term amateur radio. But the only reason I embrace it is because I hate the word ham radio even worse. I just think it's the worst two things they could call us. Part of the reason I think there's confusion out there with people is what they call us. First of all, amateurs. We know more about radio than just about anybody else, first of all. Number
but
two.
that's a US connotation. In the rest of the world, amateur is someone who's really knowledgeable and enthusiastic about their hobby. So it's only here that it's got semi-negative connotations. But interesting, I'm just looking at the header for for the Southwest Florida TechNet, and the header for that says Amateur Radio Technology Net.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's my tagline because I want people to understand what it is within the first two lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean that kind of, you've already said it as far as I'm concerned. Um, maybe we don't need the Friday night or Amateur Radio Technology Net on Friday nights or something. We could add the Friday night after rather than before. But I quite like the header, Amateur Radio Technology Net. I know, I mean,
I don't dislike that, but is that not too similar? I mean, if I put in Amateur Radio Technology Net, I get 50 other nets that come up.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to get something that would be unique for us, because what we do is unique. I don't want to throw us in where anytime somebody searches for us, they have to wade through minutia to find us. So I'm looking for something unique. I'll tell you guys a little story. When I was young, I hated my name, Ian, IAN. Nobody over here uses that name now. I know across the pond that's a pretty common name. It's common as John, but over here it's not. And so when I was growing up, I had that in my last name, HICKIN. It's not even spelled right. It doesn't look right. People don't like it. It looks like chicken without the C. And so my whole life I've had these two screwed up names, and there's only 3 Ian Hickens in the United States that have the same name as I do, that's spelled the same way. And there's no one with the same middle name. So I am unique. And what's cool about that, now that I'm later in life and I do broadcasting, this is the second show I've done on the internet, plus I do obviously 10 years of radio, commercial radio, having a unique name has come to serve me. Because these people, it's like, it's the John Smith radio show. That's like the worst name ever, dude. You gotta have it's gotta be something that's not overly confusing. You don't want to use a very ethnic name that people are like, what did he say? But you want something that would make you unique, at least in your field. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of neat now, later in life, at age 50 something, I actually like the fact that my name is very unique, and I've only found 2 other people in the entire country that spell their name the same way I do. So,
wow.
Anyway, yeah. So there you go.
Well, I've got another funny story, quick one. I've got
Okay.
a friend of mine from the UK whose name was John Smith. And like
Oh my God.
he hated it. He absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
So
I
he
would.
couldn't do anything until he was 18. Of course, in UK, 21 is 18. So, 18, 18, you're a man, you can drink, you can get married, you can have sex, you can do all the stuff. So when he was 18, he immediately changed his name, and he looked for an original name. We have our telephone system published in the UK. It's public thing, so you can look through that and see everybody's name. And he chose Sydney Bridge, and that was his name. So his first name was Sydney, Sid, which is quite a nice name, and his last name was Bridge. And then we thought, oh, that's cool. And then he put his middle name as Harbour. Sydney
Harbor Bridge. Oh, wow. That's
And
funny.
he still is to this day. And he was, I don't know if there's anyone else, but for 30 or 40 years, he was totally,
Yeah.
there was nobody else. And Sid is a great name. He wanted a name that you could reduce down, like Dave from David or Mike from Michael, He wanted a really short name, and he thought Sid was, a good name. So, and you don't use your middle name very often, so Sid Bridge is,
So if your last name's Smith, is that a joke when they make your first name John? I
I
mean,
don't think it was then, because,
Yeah.
he was born back in the late 40s.
that might not have been the common vernacular back then. I don't know,
No,
but
well, the other
it's
thing
just,
is, you see a lot of British people, well, actually a lot of Germans as well. So a lot of European will say, your name was your trade.
right, exactly.
Like me, like go back, my history goes back to 1066. I'm actually, my family is mentioned in the Magna Carta. We were carpenters, so the name Carpenter was, our name.
Right.
Funnily enough, my grandparents on my mom's side, they were Smith because, my great grandfather or something was a Smith. And, that's very much similar to the Indians, except we don't understand. Like, Patel is actually farmer. So they would be whoever they are, farmer. So their name structure is kind of similar. I mean, the US, not so much. And then the Irish, a lot of it was where they came from. The town that they came from. So,
Well, if my last name was Smith, I'd rather my parents make my first name Black. At least that way, blacksmith's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean at least that's pretty cool. But no, I love how when parents do that, they'll be like, "Oh, our last name's this, so I'm gonna make my child's first name this." An example of that, one of our reporters down at Wink, he's a great guy. His name is Justin Case.
Yeah, I noticed.
Oh, just
Yeah.
in case.
And I want to ask him, did your parents? I mean, was that the joke, or did they just not realize it? It wasn't. Nobody said that back then, or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I always because it's a neat name. I like that one because in news, that's great having a catchy name like that.
Yeah.
You remember? Oh, that was Justin Case. See, I bet you most of you guys that are local know who he is.
Yeah,
because of the name. Even if Wink's not your main station, you would know who he is. Anyway, so there you go. All right, well, there you go. So that's on the name. So we're going to table this till next week. We'll do this by Robert's Rules of Order. Do I have a second? No. We'll table this to next week, and we'll bring it up again. I wanted to bring up. There's a couple of people. Ham in the chat room said the Hurricane Ian TechNet. No, I don't want my name on it. I want this to be something that can be carried on beyond me. And maybe if I get sick and walk away one day, other people can do it for a while or something. I don't want it to be intrinsically tied to me, but I'm flattered. And American Ham TechNet, I kind of like that one. American Ham TechNet. Again, I don't want to alienate folks from outside the country, but I don't know if that would even be a problem we would worry about. And then somebody else put Ian's Coffee Clutch. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one.
I'm having a drop of coffee during one of these.
I know.
Or coffee and ham radio.
Yeah.
Except I don't drink coffee. I don't drink tea either. So
let me tell you what, I never drank coffee. A fireman for 16 and a half years, I never drank coffee. I would come in the morning. The guy going off in the morning was Tom, and I was A shift. He was C shift. He'd come on. There's a big pot of coffee. The place smelled wonderful. I never drank coffee, and then I got out of it. I drove wreckers. I stayed up all night working wreckers, working scenes, doing this. I did a bunch of crap. Never drank coffee. Got into broadcasting. Took over the early morning shift. Got up at 2:15 a.m. in the morning, and went in and produced a 4-hour show. Daybreak with Drew Steele, which then was Daybreak with Trey Rado, which then was Daybreak with Drew Steele. Right after it was Daybreak with Mandy Connell. Anyway, I produced that show for 3.5, 4 years in the morning, and I became a coffee drinker, and I put sugar and creamer and everything in it, and they were getting these little things that was like little espresso shots, and I was putting them in there too, and it became a problem. The day I went to afternoon shift, I've never drank coffee again. I hate it now. I don't even want to smell it anymore. It's weird. It's almost like that represents that nightmare known as early morning shift.
Oh, geez.
Get up at 2:15 in the morning and have to come in, and at 3:45 you got to start being creative because at 5 a.m. you go on the air.
2:15 in the morning, I wouldn't bother to go to bed.
Well, but that's the thing. You can't live like that. I mean, I literally.
That's
It's weird.
Midnight shift.
I tried that. I tried that for a while. When you've got a family, you cannot completely turn it around. You can't come home at noon and sleep till 7 in the evening and then spend time with your family and then go to work at 2 in the morning. I tried that. It didn't work. I tried it twice, actually, because I'm a night guy. I'm a night person. If I pick a shift, it would be night shift. Now, I will admit, as I've gotten older, for some reason it doesn't seem to mechanically work right anymore. But there was a time when I would prefer night shift. I actually requested night shift. There's a lot of employers out there that if you tell them you're looking for a night job, they'll snatch you right up because most people don't want night jobs. But anyway, so there you go. All right, so let's table that till next week. We got those. I got the suggestions. I do want to move on to the next thing here. Because this is something that I haven't. Dave hasn't seen yet, I don't think, unless he got that link. I did send out a link to a lot of you. I'm going to put a link in the chat room to it, but let me pull it over here so I can show you guys. This is the Aries standard frequency list. What is that? Get out of there. Okay, and let me pull this up and get it to where you guys can see it. Screen share. Basic. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. There we go. Now, this is the area. This is basically taken from the Lee County area standard frequency list. I had to start somewhere. Someone has to be frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since Lee County is already got this list, this is where I started. Now, what we're trying to do is I'm trying to create something that will mesh with the existing standard frequency list that's already out there and add additional frequencies around the ones that are in there. This column down on the left here, these are the ones that mesh up with the area standard frequency list. Now, I got the latest one. It was sent to me and it's all there. I've updated this, guys. I want you to go through it tonight if you see anything. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this with you guys. We're sharing it. I'm making you guys, anyone with the link can comment because it's such a formatting nightmare. I don't want everybody in here just copying, deleting, pasting. So you can just put.
Takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah, well, I tried that one time and I came back the next day and it's all gone. And there's a note there and someone said, I didn't know how to undo it. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's gone now. And luckily I was able to pull it up in history or whatever. So I'm going to copy this link, which I just did, and I'm going to go over and put that in the chat room. So any of you guys that are in here now, if you'd like to, you can go right in there right now, and if you see something, you click on it, you highlight it, and it will give you a notation box. And when you put that in there, it'll show up over here on the side, and then I can see it and make the changes. Okay, this is the easiest way for 30, 40 people to edit a form without somebody accidentally deleting the work that's been done. I do have a backup I've made of this as well. So anyway, what I want to do is just kind of go through here real quick and show you guys what we've done. Those of you who were here last week saw this already. I've got little symbols for all the different types of systems, whether it's Echolink, whether it's a linked system, whether it's D-Star, which is right there, and then we've got Fusion, we've got WinLink. So it's pretty easy when you look down now that you can see what is what. I also, Rick, I went and did some research. It looks like 446-100 is probably a pretty good frequency to use as our simplex backup frequency on it'll be, and I'm going to call it channel 37. So now when people program their radios, they'll have our backup frequency programmed in there already. And I'm not sure what name we'll give it, but we'll figure all that out. Anyway, so that's the Lee County frequencies, and that
Can you scroll down a little more to the Collier County one.
Yeah, I was getting there. I was saving the suspense. I was going to do a I was going to do a drum roll or something. Oh wait, here, I'll play a song for you. It's the Collier County frequencies, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so there you go. There's your Collier County frequencies, and I know we're probably missing some. I know this comes off the Lee County list, and I don't know how often this is updated with you guys. And they just changed 3 or 4 of your frequencies down there. So I'm going to need your.
I was going to say, yeah, we're actually right in the middle of doing that. What we're going to do, I believe, but just can you scroll down a bit more? I just want to
Yeah.
see what you've got.
Collier.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm showing you Charlotte. That's my bad.
No,
They both start. They both start with,
both start with
C,
C.
and I'm kind of stupid, so they start with C. Let me just go like that. There, you see them all there.
Okay, well, I'll let you know another one that's becoming popular, which is 444. Oh, hang on, you got 443 900. Oh, that's okay. That's a good one. Yeah, I'll let you have the frequencies that we use, our simplex frequencies, because we use 145 400, I think. I'll dig them up. Let you have them.
Please
But what
send
we're
them.
doing is
Yeah.
we're jiggling around because a few of these are dead, or a few of those are private, and they've given them to our club, and there's an areas net missing, which I'll let you have. And then what would and
I see your
think-
note, Ham. We're going to get to your note in just a minute, Ham. Once we get done with this.
Yeah,
Keep
what we're
keep
going to
going.
do is we're changing a few things around now. We're possibly going to link the 670 number 61. We may link that in with the Lee County linked.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely amazing.
But the busiest one at the moment, which is going to change its frequency down here for some reason, it's got amazing coverage, is actually the 443 900. Now, what is weird down here, your 440, what's your repeater? 444 2275 or something?
775.
77.
Yeah, 775. Yeah.
For some reason or other, we have got a real lot of noise on that one round here, and I don't know why. And we're
Oof.
we're
And I have
looking
no
into
ability to do anything about it either.
that. No, it's down here.
I got
Yeah.
it too.
Because I've put a beam up trying to get you, and it just makes it worse. So,
Well, I'll tell you, I had to go and turn the PL receive on my portables because when I walk around the shack or the house, I get all kinds of, like, I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi or what, but I get this.
There's
And
some kind of digital signal, and I
It
get
is.
here too. Yeah.
have you
Yeah,
got LG appliances?
No,
Okay.
not well. Not, maybe I don't know. Maybe a washer and dryer. I think my washer and dryer is LG.
Okay, yeah, the LG appliances are terrible. They've got a bunch of sprogs all over the place.
Wow.
Oh,
You
there
know, I've got everything LG, and it took me forever to kill them. And several people, I've been to their house. You know, I'm sat in the parking lot, I got it on scan, and all of a sudden, whoop, it comes up, and I say, oh, you know, just unplug that a minute, and it goes away. And you can kill it, you know, with Palmer. I can't remember what they're called now. The toroids. Palmer
Right.
Engineering. I get their
Palomar?
Palomar Engineering.
Okay.
So,
Are they emitting signals in ham frequencies, or are they just
Yes.
emitting a real?
yeah, mostly in ham frequencies. But you can kind of do a one of their Palomar toroids that you can put on the two lines on it, kind of kill everything below, I think it's like 660 or something like that. So, you know, if you get it in the middle of the HF bands, you get it in FT8 on 40 meters, you get it on FT8 in 20 meters. But the worst is actually the, you know, in the 2 meter band and the 440 band. Those are the worst because obviously they're harmonics. And I guess the second harmonic is somewhere up in 440, and the third harmonic will be down in the 220 in the 144. So yeah, they're. I don't know. Somebody was telling me Samsung are similar, but I haven't got any Samsung stuff. But I cured a lot of noise with that. So, but yeah, I'll update this. But it's an ongoing thing at the moment. It's probably not going to be complete until. Well, we've actually got Thursday, Friday, and today. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on the tower. on the, which you haven't got here, on the 030, oh, you have 147030, the 670, 64, sorry, that's going to be a lot different. It's going to be the same frequency, so it doesn't really matter. But we had the crane in today and yesterday, and they moved the antennas, they put in new helix or whatever the stuff was called. That was actually being worked on today, and that's going to be a lot higher, and that will a lot better coverage. And that's the 147030. That's the two primary ones: 146,670, 147,030, and the 443,900. Those are the major. Pretty much the rest of them under there are all private. They're all owned by individuals, not owned by the club.
Well,
So-
and I'm putting all repeaters, so I don't
Yeah.
care. You know, I've got some private ones in Lee County. The FSU out in Lehigh is private. There's at least two other ones I know of that are private in there, so that's cool.
Yeah, as long as they're accessible, you know, you don't need a special
Right.
code to open them. Then they're worth putting in. It's a good idea.
Right. And I've got Glades County, I got Henry County, Charlotte, Collier. Anybody that knows of an active repeater in any of these counties, that's stable, that's been up, you know, that's good to go. I'm trying to make this as complete as possible, because when this gets done, I'm going to print this. I'm going to print this out on 2 sheets of ledger paper on both sides. And when you get done with it, you lay one inside the other and you fold it in half. And you now have an 8-page book, basically. And that's what it's going to look like. It's going to have the logos and the basics on the front. And when you open it up, it's going to have 2 complete pages of frequencies. You open the next page, it's going to have all the information that we talked about the other day, all the different codes and Q codes and Morse codes and everything you would need to know. And I've now added emergency phone numbers for the 5 counties: Sheriff's Department, Fire, EMS, County Services, Water Department. All the things you would need during an emergency for your county is in there too. So this is something that can sit there in the shack during an emergency. It's got maps in the back with all the different repeater ranges. It's going to be really cool. And I'm planning on having this done in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And I'm going to, I'm working on right now. I've got a couple of big jobs coming up. And I'm looking at trying to spend several $100s of my own money. And I'm going to print these. And I'm going to mail them to all the new hams. And I think that's a great way to get people involved. Anybody that got licensed in Southwest Florida in the last year is going to get a manila envelope with this very beautiful unfolded color printed book, little booklet that will have everything they ever need to know about ham radio. And you know, that'll hang around. It'll be there. And every time they look at it, there's our logo, there's our phone number, there's our whatever we put on there, you know. And it'll have all this information on it. And then I may also give them out, or maybe ask for $1 donation and give them out at the Ham Fest coming up, one of the Ham Fest, couple of Ham Fests. So I'm thinking about this. This is what this is the direction that I'm trying to move in with this, is to get it to where we're actually have a document that people can use. This was all information that when I became a ham, I had to go find. I had to go find every bit of this information. This will be something that it'll be there. It'll have it. You know, like 70% of people that get licensed never actually talk on a ham radio. It's almost disgusting when you look at the numbers. It's terrible.
Real shame. Real shame. Yeah.
And I think a lot of that's because they don't know what to do. And when you go take the test, it's great that these guys are given the test and they do a good job. But you give them the test and then that's it. They get up and they walk out and that's the end of it. You gave them a pamphlet or something, but I'm wanting to send them something that actually has all the ideas on it, all the information on it, all the contacts on it, all the phone numbers on it, has everything on it already. But it's also something that can be folded in half and put under your keyboard. And when the power goes out, you grab that because it's got everything on it. It's got all the emergency stuff on it, all the frequencies, all the everything. It would be something you would probably want to copy in your Go kit. But that's what I'm trying to make here. And so what I want you guys to do, I sent you guys that link. I'm going to pull up the other one now and show you where I'm at with that one.
Do these logos look really good for the Echo Link and WinLink and, you know, Fusion System and everything else? Do they come out all right when you print it, or have you not tried printing them yet?
They should come out okay. Obviously we'll have to test it out. But they should come out okay. I have, but to answer your question, no, I have not tested it. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
so
I like the idea with the, you know, especially with the WinLink enabled, Echo Link enabled. The Echo Link enabled is really good. We use that a lot in our club, and the Lee County Link repeater system is that's nice to put that in there as well. That's the first time I've seen. You know, I mean, trying to find out what the link system is on Lee County is really, as you said, really difficult.
So
No,
do you
right.
have a list of the linked ones? What do they normally link to?
Each other.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
is that
four
on that
repeaters
list?
account that they link to, they link together.
they link, yes, sometimes to each other or Echo Link or both.
You know, but
Like,
if
yeah.
you have one that like hangs out most of the time on, I don't know, the left-handed metric crescent wrench net, you know, that ought to be on there so that when people go there, they know where it's where normally it's going to be, you know, stuck on some reflector or whatever you want to call it. Each system's got its own different twist.
Well,
yeah,
that's
universally on those. If you call CQ or call, you know, say you're listening to any of them, nobody will come back to you. It's really annoying. And
yeah,
you know
it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, here's it. And this is kind of what you're talking about, but not directly. I'm trying to put what is done on these channels right below them like that.
Yes.
And I'm going to try. I would like to know that too. If you guys want a different net notated, I don't really want specific like membership nets, like club nets and stuff, because you're in a club, you know when that meeting is. I'm kind of looking more for the evening nets, the stuff that people might not know about. It's like the Loggerhead net was a great net, and different things like that. So if you guys have a net you would like me to mention, simply highlight like that. And then I'm not sure how you do it on your end, but I think you right click and it lets you leave a notation. And then you leave me a notation, it'll pop up over here and I'll copy that information and put it right in there. I'll just have to format everything. Formatting's a real bitch on these things. So it's formatting is what makes them difficult. Anyway, but that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put these. So if you guys have things you want me to put in here, nets or whatever, under these numbers, let me know. And that especially goes for Collier and Charlotte. I do have these two nets. And actually that's a club net, but that's cool. And I got this one here too. Your Aries net down there. So anyway, we'll put some more in when we get them.
Yeah, those have changed, but that's okay. I can give you that.
Yeah. See how these are
So-
lighting up with squares? People are leaving me notes. That's really cool. I appreciate that. When they light up in a square, that means there's a note. And then when I click on it, it will show me what the note is. And I do really appreciate that. Okay. The link for this is in the text. And here's the other document we're working with right now. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go here, share, and I'm going to share with others. And I'm going to.
This isn't going out on YouTube, is it?
Yes.
Because you know, okay. I'm just wondering whether giving it, you know, addresses for shit.
It's going out on YouTube, but YouTube does not see the Zoom chat.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah,
So
it's in the.
that way
I'm not
nobody
putting
else
it
will
right.
get a. Yeah, okay, I'm with you. Because otherwise, if they could click on it, you know, there's all these clowns out there.
He's
Never,
got
never underestimate.
They can make like 9 million comments, but that's boring.
Yeah,
They can't erase
they
it.
can't, as long as they can't get to it to edit it, because you know
Okay,
there's
I've thought of something that I've just noticed. You know, you got your standard phonetic alphabet. Have you seen one of those standard phonetic alphabets that actually teaches people how to say those words?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Because that's half of it right there. It's not Papa, it is Papa
Hmm.
and Foxtrot. You know, the names sound funny, but if you've ever been on a military net,
That's what they
it's
use.
much clearer.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not just how what you're saying, but how you're saying it is
Right.
important that we all, because it's standard phonetics, but if we all speak it in some kind of crazy accent, then it's still not standard.
Right.
yeah.
Right. No, I completely agree.
So
Let's see
like
here.
Zulu, yeah,
Yeah.
especially when you some people say Z and some people say Z.
Yeah.
Well, I try to say Z when I'm on the radio because I know
Yeah.
that Z sounds exactly like E on the radio. So
Or C.
or C.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it's terrible.
Or
It's
D.
terrible. Right.
Sometimes they
Or
use
D.
Zulu.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them that sound the same.
Yeah.
But that's why when you do the phonetic one and you accent it in 2 and 3 syllable chunks, it's impossible not, even if you only hear the first or the last syllable, you know which word it is.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely you know, if you're digging out DX, it's really it's good for that. Except when you're around
The ones that drive me the nuts the most is these guys that are kilowatt something something something, you know, and I've already wrote down a kilo and a W, because kilo is one of them, watt is another
one, yeah.
word.
Yeah.
So I go back with them and I say, but you're not in QRZ. You've got a 3x3 call. Are you a
Doesn't
bootleg?
exist.
You know, and after about 15 minutes, they say, "Oh, I get it. You're a moron.
It's not
It's Delta something."
It took them that long.
You're not a kilowatt Delta. You're a kilo Delta.
I'll be honest, when I do the contesting, I can't stand when they use the country names. They'll be like Japan, Italy, France, Italy, Japan, 3, Japan. And I'm like, oh no, stop. Can we please use the standard phonetics? You know, after 20 years in public safety, can we please use the phonetics? My God. Anyway, I hate that.
I'll tell you though, I'll put in a kind of comment underneath that. Sometimes when you use the standard phonetic alphabet, and you know, I mean, obviously I've got an accent and everyone's got their own accent, but sometimes, you know, somebody doesn't understand that. So if you can change it, so if you try somebody 3 times, you know, you say Alpha Charlie 3, Alpha Victor, and then you say it 3 times and they still don't get it. Sometimes I'll say something like America Victoria or you know, America Canada, because like you say, the countries are pretty common, and like Dallas was saying, he can pick up,
right,
you know, just part of it, and if they don't understand Charlie, give them something else. And that's when I use the countries, because most people know countries. So although, you know, I can imagine if somebody does that all the time, it's annoying, but sometimes it's like a second option. And I do, especially when
I've used radio as a substitute for Romeo at times.
Yes, yeah. Because your diction may be better on radio than it is to them. You know,
I understand that.
You know, so
I usually use the right one first. And
yes, me too. I'll do it 3 times, and then if they don't understand after 3 times, you know, you're 4x1 and you're really trying to make the contact, it's, you know, good DX that you want, and then I'll change it. And it's amazing sometimes how that works. You know, just changing the and I use countries because lots of people, like Dallas was saying, you know, there are words that people understand. They know Canada, You know,
They're more common on the HF contests than the standard ones are
yeah,
in the
that's
country.
annoying.
I hear more countries. Yeah.
Yeah, and now
And
people
I've
have
gotten
started
used
saying
to it now.
Yeah, and the one that annoys me is some people now they say CQ test, CQ test. They don't say contest. They say CQ test, CQ test.
You know what started that? It's because a lot of the digital modes, that's what you put CQTEST.
Yeah,
It's 6 digits. Like on FT8, it's CQ test. And
But
that's
now they
where,
use it on
and now they're
SSB.
using it on SSB, and they shouldn't. I
Yeah.
agree.
Use it on CW too.
Well, what you do is you answer them. I hear you loud and clear.
yeah,
I still hear you loud and clear.
yes, yeah.
David Charlie.
I got to tell you, I really hate these contests where you have to give a signal report, because I love when someone's yelling at me that I'm 5'9".
Yeah.
You're 5'9".
Yeah.
Bull crap! You're
And
5'9".
Can you repeat
You're
your location?
1'1".
Can you repeat your grid square? Can you repeat your grid square? You're 5'9". You know.
Such no
Well, what I do is really funny is when you get those really, really loud stations, and I'm not really into the contest, you know, and I'll give the loud station like a 4 and 1, and I'll get him to repeat it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to wind the guy up. So he's sitting there wondering if his amplifier is actually working.
Oh man, I'm not a huge contester, but I do like contesting because I find it hard to find people that want to talk to me on SSP. And when we're contesting, I like to get in there and bust up pileups and listen to all the different people. And so I find contests to be kind of refreshing because there's a lot of people on the frequencies. So
Well, go up the top end of the band and work the Polar guys, because they talk to you.
yeah. Well, I work a lot of POTA on anything I see on POTA. I give priority to on FT8 when I'm doing that.
Yeah, but if you work it on SSB, there's 10 times as many people, and they're all up the top end of the band, and they're usually close to each other. I work quite a few of those, and of course you can go to the POTA website and you can see everybody who's spotted.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I've actually done that. I've done that a bunch of times where I'm just looking to talk to somebody for a few minutes. When I'm on vacation up in the mountains, there's a lot more POTA up there. And we've got Brasstown Bald, which is like 6,000 feet, and it's right near my cabin, which is at 3,000 feet. And I've spoke to people there on I take one of my mobiles and set it up as a base radio with an antenna out on the side of the roof. No big deal. And I talk to people up on that mountain over there on a Bofang, and it's 32 miles away. And we'll talk. It's amazing what you can do with some height. So I love when I go up there. I always keep a VHF on 2 meter call. And I generally will get 5 or 10 POTAs just listening. That's without me even trying, just listening on 5.2 up there. And you'll get you a VHF contact. Anyway, I love that. All right. So I want to talk about this other form real quick here that I'm working on. I've incorporated already some of the ideas you guys gave me last week. And if you guys see something you think's dumb or you don't like, or you don't think I should have this in here, highlight it and leave me a note. And we're going to go through it again next week, and it'll be updated. I'll change it, or we'll go through it and decide whether we're going to change it, whatever. Anyway, I've got all the repeater basics here. I want this to be something. I know it's like weird that I would put this first, but what's the first thing you do in ham radio? You talk on a repeater with your Bofang.
Well, you should listen.
That's
Well,
right.
yeah, you probably should listen first. Yeah, that's probably good. You're right. Yeah,
Actually, you should have been listening before you got your license.
You should.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
true. Yeah. But yeah, I figure, so repeater stuff right up front, repeater etiquette. We got the both the the phonetic alphabet and the CW, both there together. There was no sense in having those separate. They're the same thing. Why not just have it together like that? I got the amateur bands. I got the CQ stuff. And I got the 3 kinds of modulation there, or the modes. So basically, this page didn't really change much. I think everybody kind of was happy with this. I got no notes at all on this page. So I'm hoping I'm close. If you guys see something where you think I missed a Q code, there's actually other Q codes that I don't have. I actually took a few out because I didn't have room for them. And they're ones I've never heard before.
Yeah, there's like 10,000 of them, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a Q code that means like the turtle's crossing the road or something. And I just didn't think we would need that one. So anyway, on the second page, I got about our WatchNet so people can learn about the WatchNet. I added this since last week. There's a little formatting issue right here I'm working on. But this will basically explain the WatchNet and what we do to new people. So they'll know that there's a calm voice in the storm out there that they can go and talk to. And then down here, this section here I'm taking out because that's going to be replaced by 2 whole pages, which is going to be the new Southwest Florida standard frequency list that we're coming up with. So this section is open right now. I'm looking for something to go in here. And we're looking to put something there. So if you guys can think of something you don't see in here that you would have liked to had folded up underneath your keyboard on your shack, then by all means, make a note here for me. Hey, in this square, I would put this. Okay. I've put this link in the chat. World TechNet. I like that, Ham. World TechNet. This is the World TechNet. It's bigger than anything. It's the Soul Sector TechNet. I like that too. Or I like Alpha Quadrant TechNet. How about that?
What the hell is Alpha Quadrant?
Well, you're not a Trekkie, are you?
Absolutely not.
Well, we're in the center of the Alpha Quadrant here, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
I feel so much better now.
How can someone from England be this uncultured? Anyway, I'm just kidding. You know, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, no,
all right,
it's not difficult. It really isn't.
No. But anyway, so I got the on the air lingo here, 7-3. 7-3, which actually means I really don't want to talk to you anymore, buddy. And then you've got all the different things people would say and what it means and how you would use it. I think this was kind of important. When I started in ham radio, I had already been using a radio for 30 years. Every job I've ever worked had a 2-way radio. I've learned 10 codes, code codes, signal codes, alpha codes, alert codes, Q codes, every kind of freaking code that there is, even code red, code blue, every kind of code you can imagine. And so it was easy for me to understand when someone says, whatever, I pretty much knew what they were talking about. But for a lot of people, this may be the first time they've ever seriously used a ham radio in a group setting beyond a couple of FRSers at the county park with their family. And so I want them to have a good explanation of what things are over here. Oops, see what I mean by screwing things up? All right, over here, this is about the TechNet.
Yeah, hang on a second. That second item on there is spelled wrong.
Which one?
The second item. That's not an R, that's a W.
Huh?
It's a Wodger.
Oh, yeah.
A Wodger?
Wabbit.
Basically, Wabbit, Wodger.
Yeah, they're no good if you have to explain them. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but you don't know what a candy store is on your list.
What's that?
A candy store, a ham radio store.
There you go.
Yeah,
is a candy store. That'd be a good one. I've got room. We'll put it in there.
Hey, I've never seen a jump off or whatever that was. I've lost it now. But a jump off, I've never heard that.
A jump off. Well, I got these from various sources, so who knows? These are not all ones
I leave the radio. I've never heard that one before, and I've been a ham since 1980. That's
well, it's actually pretty. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Hey, I need to jump off right now.
Yeah, I've just never heard it.
No, who's going to think you were talking about a bridge? But anyway,
jump on. Yeah.
So anyway, the next section here is emergency contacts. Again, in your area, your county. If there's things I missed, let me know. Because I'm wanting this again to be something that you would grab in an emergency, have in your ham shack, and be there for you when you need it. When the computer won't power up or whatever, you still got all these phone numbers right there. So I went and I tried to find all the best stuff. I even found some of the more obscure things. I went to all the different county EOCs and tried to get all the best phone numbers. I'm sure I didn't get them all. So if you think of one or have one, again, leave me a note, please. Also down here, I got things you can do right away in ham radio. Any changes you think I should make there. Also, so once I get going, then what? And this just gives you a whole list of things to do next. And then I got the little disclaimer thing at the end. Anyway, this, I'm looking for you guys' help. I want to get this thing to be as complete as possible. This is basically page 2. Okay. And this would be page 3. And then this would be 4. And then this would be 5. And then the frequency list is going to be probably 6 and 7. And then I've still got the back cover. So I still have the back cover and that one box in the middle to fill with something totally different that I don't have yet. And then I've got, I can also squeeze things in if we find something else. So you guys help me be creative here.
Well,
What would you have wanted?
You do have to leave some blank space so that they can write down something. So they're not
I'd
write something
crap
on the
in when
wall,
it changes.
you know.
Then maybe the back page should just be lines and we should just put
Maybe
notes.
not, no, I wouldn't do all of it lines, but you know, a third of it at least. So that
That's a
they can
good
write
idea.
down somebody's name or call of somebody that they've just heard on the repeater.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, notes, just call it notes or something.
have you ever gotten a
Amendments.
business card from somebody and it's so shiny you can't write on it with any kind of pen or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hand it back to them, say, I can't use this. And then you dig out one of your cards and you write all their stuff on one of your cards and then
Right.
you give
Yeah.
them one they can write on and they're like, I gotta throw away 975 business cards because I bought a box of 1,000. It's no good.
I know. I don't like the shiny ones because you can't write on them. I completely agree. I'm getting ones eventually and they won't be like that. They'll be black on the front and they'll have our logos and all that, but I'm thinking about leaving the back just blank, white.
Yeah.
So that it can be utilized to write notes or whatever on.
Well,
Anyway,
the new thing is to put a QR code on there, but the QR
That's
code
what I was gonna mention,
takes
put a
up the
QR
whole
code on.
dang thing. You need
yeah,
them,
you just put that over on one side. Yeah.
you know, and then kind of like a postage stamp on the back, you know, but
Mhm.
you've got room for them to write down notes.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where that's at. So if you guys can help me with that, the 2 links are in there. I would appreciate it. Just go in there and make me notes. Or if you don't want to do it that way, send it to me in an email. Just like, look, here, these 3 channels are wrong. Here's what it should say, and send it to me. Okay. And that way I can make this the most complete document that we can possibly make it. That's what I'm trying to do here. And that's basically where I'm at with that. I really appreciate you guys' help.
I'll tell
I
you
really
what might be nice is to add onto that standard frequency list the downlink satellite frequencies, because you can hear those on handy talkies if the conditions are right. You know, like ISS, it
Right.
goes over fairly regularly. That might be nice to add.
Okay. Yeah. And I had even thought about adding like local frequencies that you can listen to. I don't know. I'd kind of gone back and forth on that one.
How about the weather frequencies? They're just above. Most of our radios will cover those.
163.475.
Yeah, 1.6. You know, they would be. I think personally, I used to struggle to find the satellite ones, and I was amazed that they were so easy to hear. You just leave your little radio running on 850 or whatever it is, 1458, 146, 850, and quite often you can hear the satellites when they go over, and that's kind of different than everything else. So that might be something. Just think about it. It's a thing to think on.
Well, I'm going to put that right here. So
Yeah, doesn't have to be. Oh, I see. You got it like that. Yeah.
Set channel.
Yeah, there's not many. That's what I was thinking. I think there's only 4 or 5 downlinks. Plus ISS has got its own downlink. So and they're FM. They're easy to listen to.
I also want to make one of these up for each county.
Oh, what
This
the map?
Yeah, this is a basic map that shows all the repeaters in Lee County, and it does not show what their effective range is. It's simply just showing you a 5-mile radii from each tower.
Yeah, you want to clarify that.
I know, and I will. It will be a caption on whatever it is that says that, because I try to make that as clear as I can. That the circles do not mean you will or will not hear that repeater. It just simply is showing you everything inside the circle is within 5 miles of the repeater.
I have a suggestion.
Sure.
Make them squares instead of circles. Then it's obvious.
As a thought.
I know, but that's going to make it even more confusing than something that I already think's way too damn confusing. That would make it really confusing, because it's almost like the blue color on our radar at work. Why would they do that? It's stupid. It's confusing. I don't know. I'm trying to think. You're right, though. There's got to be some other way to do it. I just don't know if squares. I don't know.
You can always put in an explanation on the legend where the legend.
Yeah, I was going to do that. I was going to put a thing. These circles represent a 5-mile radii and not an effective receiver range or whatever, something like that, I guess.
And I guess the numbers that you've got there, they represent the numbers on the list.
On the standard frequency list, exactly.
But,
yeah.
But the 2 blue ones haven't got a number, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You've got them on the outside. And the other blue one is purple. Sorry, I've got it. You got 111.3 and 734. All the rest of them are inside.
I struggled with how to do this. Like he said, it's confusing. And I agree. It is very confusing. And so I don't know. I originally was trying to do what they did with putting the numbers over where the tower sites are. You can't do that because some spots have 4 or 5 tower sites.
How about shading? A lighter version of the color in each area.
Well,
I could do that.
The red ones stand out really well. The blue ones don't. But that's probably me, because I'm not 100%. Because the yellows don't look very good to me. But my color response is pretty.
No, the yellows don't look very good to me.
No,
I'm gonna be honest, but I'm running out of colors. I don't know. There's a lot of colors I can't, even like the green doesn't really show up good. That light blue is horrible. 12 and 30. And the shading, I tried the shading at first. The problem was that spot right in the middle turns almost black because it's got like every shade in it.
Shade on it, yeah.
That right there on McGregor, you're within 5 miles of like 12 different ham radio repeaters or something. Right there but look, it's right just north of Rick's house.
Yeah.
You're right there, Rick, at the nexus of repeaters right there.
Yeah, I know. My scanner picks them all up.
Yeah, I mean you're really right there where they all kind of meet. But Rick lives right down here, so he's just off. This is kind of the apex right here where they all kind of meet. But anyway, so I would love to make one of these for each county. And include it in this thing. I've got 2 pages for maps, and I want to do a Lee. The Lee one will be a full page because it's huge. The Collier one, I want to make it big enough that you can see it. I may end up adding 2 more pages to this. I haven't decided yet. I don't know, but the point is
the Collier County is so big.
Yeah.
It's huge,
Oh,
but and everything
huge.
is, you know, within that is, you know, because I mean the population is a fraction of Lee County, but it's like 10 times as big.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Area-wise.
can actually
Yeah.
fit just
Everglades.
yeah, you can fit just over 2 Lee counties inside Collier County.
I'm
It's like
surprised
two,
it's as small as
it's
that. Oh,
2.5,
yeah.
almost 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Collier's
big.
one of the biggest counties is in the state. You know,
Yeah.
It almost goes to the Miccosukee Indian zone.
Yeah, it
You,
does.
well, you know what? An interesting thing. This used to all be Monroe County, and then many years ago, the sheriff of Monroe County said, "I can no longer cover from Key West to the Charlotte County line, and I can no longer cover that. It's not reasonable. Look, they're going to be inventing an air conditioner soon," and so they decided to go ahead and split it up, and they did Glades, Hendry, Lee, not Charlotte. Charlotte was its own thing, something else going on there. But Lee, Collier, and Hendry and Glades were all chipped out of what was Monroe County.
Yeah. Well, at
So-
least they didn't do 159 counties like Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia's counties are a little smaller than ours.
Yeah.
Collier County, you could probably fit 5 or 6 Georgia counties inside Collier County.
Yeah. That.
I don't
No
wanna get-
problem.
I
Yeah.
don't want to get
Fix
too
them.
political here, but you realize that Collier County has got the richest city in Florida and the
Mhm.
poorest.
Yeah.
You know, Immokalee is
Yeah.
the poorest in the whole of Florida,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and Naples is the richest, and they're within 30 miles of each other.
Yeah.
Not
It's
amazing.
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right, let's move on here. I'm going to go ahead and take the screen back here. And we'll move on from this. I ask you guys to continue to leave notes. The map is there. If you see something you want to change on the map or something that's wrong, just click near the map and leave a note there. I'll see all these notes down the side. And over the weekend, I'm going to put those in. So when you come back, your note may be gone and you'll see that the change has already been made. It's a
Ian,
really
do you
neat.
have any data as to the antenna height on any of the repeaters?
I have some.
Yeah.
I have some.
'Cause
And
what-
I'm. Do you
you
think
know-
that should be on there?
Well, if you got it, but what I was thinking about is figuring out how big the circles should be. In other words, what you try to do is approximate the actual coverage of the repeater. But I don't know that's probably something that needs to be done in future editions.
Yeah, I'm looking here. I actually hold on, just give me 1 second here. I've got another one I've been working on. And I'll show you that one if you guys just give me 1 second here.
You know,
Open.
to do those circles, you almost actually have to go out and do plots with software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, now Florida is pretty flat.
Yeah. Florida's
The
flat.
ridge down the center.
The highest repeater we have
It's
here.
not like Georgia. You can get away with just doing circles, but you almost have to do a plot to see how big a circle is for a particular antenna height and gain.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good club exercise on a Sunday afternoon or something. But then, you know, you're taking into account individual radios and individual antennas on the cars, you know. It's a plot is very personal to your equipment.
That gets way too complicated. You just have to figure that the car is, you know, a standard sedan height with a 3 dB gain mobile antenna.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's,
The guy in the SUV, you know, he's got that little 19-inch whip, you know, dual band antenna. You know, he doesn't get 3 dB gain, but he's got more height.
Yeah.
Now the guy with the minivan who's got the mag mount dead center, well, he's doing better.
For sure.
Well, I have a spreadsheet that I've been working on, but I can't seem to find it. I will find it though, and I'll share it with you guys. But I have a spreadsheet. I've got about half of the antenna heights. And I've got some of the actual locations. Some I've got like just the general area. Some people in ham radio are like, they don't want to give out the exact location of the tower. I think that's because we don't want the aliens to know where to target or something. I don't know.
Repeaters have been known to have been stolen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be. I don't know. I mean,
And sabotage.
There was a club up in Dallas. They went and bought 3 or 4 of those brand new fusion repeaters, and someone went there and beat the living tar out of the window air conditioning.
oh shit.
Out of the window and stole the repeaters. They didn't take the duplexers. They just took the brand new fusion repeaters.
That sucks.
Yes.
Well, that's really crazy, but I guess that's one of those things.
Yeah, you can't. It's really difficult to cover that, but yeah, I can see. Well, there's some people on QRZ now. QRZ, they don't want their addresses published on there. So,
Oh, here it is. Christ.
Well, all they gotta do is get a post office box.
yeah, but the FCC won't allow that. You've got to have
No.
an actual address.
All you got to do is be able to be reachable by the FCC.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can get that information without any other company. They just, if they know what they're doing, they can find out. Because it is
All right.
public information.
yes, public
Here's-
information. Yeah,
This
but
is something.
they get QRZ to take it down.
This is
Yeah.
something I started a while back. I was trying to do plots, and I was trying to collect all the information I needed to do it, and that's what this is. And you can see I've got a lot of the information here,
Yeah,
but I don't have
I could see a correction that's needed.
this is old. I made this
Yeah.
a year ago, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
I was working on,
147,225 is now at the Cape Coral Hospital.
yeah, like I said, this is old. This is not anywhere near right.
You, is that your most recent work on it?
No.
Oh,
No,
if you-
like I said, I just simply pulled this up to see if I had the heights on here. I've got one somewhere and I'm trying to figure out where it is. I've got one somewhere where I actually have the antenna heights.
So you got the location of some of them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get that done, I'd love a copy of that Excel file.
Yeah, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. I'll have all that. And when all this is done, I'm not, by the way, it's going to be offered for free. I'm going to have it online on a PDF. People can just download it. They can print it themselves. I'm going to try to get my own money together so that I can mail it, physically mail it to new people. I'm going to put it on some nice paper and mail it to them. And then I'm thinking about taking them to a ham fest, taking them to our local ham fest, and just having a table. I'm going to get a banner like you saw the one that Joseph got, and go to the ham fest and set up a table and give these out and see what happens. You know, ask people, say, look, if you like it, give me $1. You know, give me $1 to help cover the printing.
You want to know what the name of that file is that you got the heights on?
What's that?
You called it the Lee County Repeater Information -SEFL Tech Team.
Oh, you've got the link for it?
Well,
Can
no,
you put-
well, you know, I might have the whole link. I don't know if, I'm pretty sure I'm editing, well, am I editing yours or am I editing mine?
I don't know. If you've got mine, just put the link for it in the chat room. I don't care if everybody has it. And the Zoom chat. Let's see what I got.
We'll see who's the owner, who's the sharer. You, Joseph, and it's got me on there. You're the owner. Joseph is an editor. I'm an editor. Heck, I don't know why I'm an editor. Oh, that could be way back when I did that. The
Yeah,
show
we
and
were
tell.
working on stuff together. Yeah.
Well, we were doing that thing. So let me find my little chat window thing here. Where's it at? there it is, someplace. Here's the
Well, I was
chat.
going to say, under resources, you've also got the Lee County repeater coverage under resources on the SWFL TechNet website.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which I'm wondering about, because if you change the group, you're still gonna have the same name on the website. I mean, the address.
Oh, what, SWFL TechNet,
Yeah,
tech.net? That's not a problem. We simply buy the new one and we leave the old one connected, but we make the new one primary.
it just sends them over to the new one.
Yeah. Yeah. In other words, like right now, if you go to your computer and type in SWFL watch.net, if you type that in and hit enter, it'll change it to Southwest Florida TechNet, because it's the same website. So you type that in, but it switches it back. So that I can do the same thing with our new name. When you type in the old name, it'll just switch it to the new name and you're in the new website, which is still the same website. So there you go. So we'll still have swfltech.net. I'll probably pay for that as long as I'm doing this, since we were using it. That way people that are using it can still get to us. I'll keep the WatchNet. I'm going to keep that one too. And because that's a localized thing, I'm not changing the name of the WatchNet. And then I'm just going to add a new one to it, so we'll add a new one, whatever it is, whatever we call it, Friday Night TechNet, or whatever. We'll just FridayNightTechNet.com or whatever. We'll get it. All right. So did you put that link in there? Let's see here. See if I can get that. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is the one I'm thinking of. I knew I had it. Thank you. Let's share that with you guys so you can see it. Here we go.
Sometimes with sharing stuff on Google Docs is you forgot who shared with what.
Yeah.
Right. But there you go, guys. There's what I have. You can see there that we've started working on the heights and the watts,
Yeah, you did it in heights
but
and feet.
I'm missing a lot of information. It's hard to come up with information on this stuff. So, but that's what I've got so far right there.
Yeah. Let's see, for the antenna plotting software, it did the heights in meters, and I can't look at feet and convert it to meters unless I just divide by 3. So that actually has I don't know if I have a formula in there or if I did a calculation someplace else.
And if you guys want, those of you who wanted this spreadsheet, the link's right there. Click it, pull it up on your computer, and then go up to File and make a copy, and make your own copy of it that you can keep on your Google Docs.
Or if they don't have Google Docs, they can download it as an Excel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can download it here as any of these formats, including PDF.
Where do you download it?
If you don't have Google Docs, click. You do.
But
then
I
you
want to
can
save a copy.
Okay, if you just want to save a copy, go to File and then go down to Download, and there's your different ways to save it. PDF would be good, but you can't go back and edit it later. Well, you can, but you'd have to use a PDF editor, and that gets squirrely.
Excel or CSV.
Yeah. However you want to download it, you can do it that way. If you use Google Docs, you might just want to make a copy.
I did.
And yeah, and that will copy it right to your documents, and you can name it whatever you want. So, and now you've got what I've got. And if you add stuff, either add it to mine or send it to me. And I would love to update this, and we'll keep working on this one too. This one's not really for publication unless you want it. I'll send it to you. But this one's more for my projects we were working on. There's a lot of stuff we don't know out there. Nobody knows how many watts most of these repeaters are. I think most of them are 50, but I don't want to just go, I don't want to do like the SAT test and just put 50, 50, 50. Because I don't know. Some of them might be 20 watts. You never know.
Mhm.
All right. Let's see here. Everybody got that? Anything else on that? World-tech.net is available on GoDaddy for $14.99.
It's cheaper on, oh, who do I use? Names cheap names or something like that. Who do I use?
Hmm. I use GoDaddy for my names, and then I use Wix for my websites. It's pretty standard stuff. All right, so let me end that. All right, so there we are. Anything else on that for you guys tonight?
Did you hear what happened with our 147.225?
No.
They club paid a large sum of money to be able to run 3 internet lines in the hospital all the way up to the street, which is why it's or up to the repeater, which is why it's taken this long to get it done. It was finally done. They had a Pi Star up there for control. They plugged it in. Hour later, somebody from the hospital unplugged it. They don't want it. They screwed us.
After you paid to install it.
Yeah, and they're working on it. This is where being good at politics helps, so I'm sure they're working on it somehow, trying to work a deal out. But for the meantime, they were supposed to use the guest Wi-Fi for it, which is iffy for a repeater, but
Yeah.
just
Better than
Maybe I
nothing,
never
but-
have it again.
Well, see, that depends on the hospital and how you can work with the IT folks. In
That's-
Texas,
You
we had a
got
few
it.
friends that were part of the IT team, and they wired us into the guest account because they run wires to all those routers,
Yeah.
and they just ran a wire straight to the laptops that were by the computer and by the ham radio gear. So we had 100+ megabit connection to the internet, and there's nothing in ham radio world that needs more than 100 megabit.
Hmm.
And we didn't have no login or log out getting bumped in and bumped out because most of those things they're expecting it to be somebody in the hospital surfing, and if you're only on for 30 or 40 minutes and they'll automatically boot you off, you got to log back in again.
I don't know, man. It's angering because I was really looking forward to having all the repeaters linked up again.
Yeah, it was nice. It was definitely nice.
And I think
What-
Port Charlotte is planning on linking a repeater to our system too, is what I heard. That's a rumor.
Well, somebody at the in the repeater organization up there has been approaching, because they approached us. They asked us if we would like to link our 670
Right.
up to the system. So somebody up there, I mean, it's an unofficial request. It's like, what do you
Why not?
think? Kind of thing. Yeah, that was I put it to the board. It came via me because I used to be the secretary and I'm still on all the paperwork as a secretary. I don't know what the club's doing, but it came via me as an unofficial. Would you be interested? What do you think? Kind of thing,
Yeah.
So I guess they're doing the same thing with Charlotte and others. Makes a lot of sense to me. I don't see any problem with it, but like you say, clubs are funny.
Well, they are, and I'll tell you, all these repeaters sit silent all day long. I monitor
Yes.
this. I monitor the 775 all morning up until the time I go to work, all weekend, anytime in the bedroom and here, anywhere I'm at. I've usually got it up. It's close enough I can hear it on a portable anywhere in my house. So I've got it up all the time. No one ever talks on it ever. I don't
I've
know of
actually caught
any.
it a couple of times when I'm up in Fort Myers, because I've got a little FT M100 in the car. And I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. I can't get it here. I can't get it until I get to a stereo, and it's still a bit
Right.
squeaky. But I've tried it. I can definitely access it because it, when I say listening, AC3AV or whatever, mobile listening, that's how I put it. I didn't like what you put in your list about how to get on. That's going back about 20, like 2 hours now. But you said something about saying listening on the or whatever. I'm not big on that, but
What
and
do
I've
you
never had
mean?
any. You know that list you said about how to get on the
Yeah.
radio? You put something in there about announcing something about on the 020 or the 820 or
Yeah,
something
it's
like that.
something. It's something that everybody's trying to get people to do down here. Is to because we all scan, and when we're scanning, and someone comes on and they go, KD4, da da da, and it's like, okay, I have no idea what channel you are on because I'm scanning. I'm scanning 40 channels. So what we do up here, and this is getting pretty universal up here, is you announce what channel you're on. So if I'm on a channel, I'm looking to talk to somebody, I'll come on and I'll say KO4EFS on the 775. And then somebody will say, hey, KO4EFS. Because, and then I'll hear, if you hear on the 775, then you know where to go on your radio to find me. That's why that's all we're doing it for, is just for the scanner people. There's one or two people around that are kind of obsessed with the whole thing, and I don't think it needs to be like that. But that, just so you know, that's why, and I do kind of agree with it, because it does let the people in the scanner know. That's really all it's for.
You're listening to.
Right.
Yeah, because as soon as you drop it depends on what you've got on your scanning. I mean, if you're scanning for 5 seconds or something, you have to go back 3 or 4 repeaters to find it. I can understand that.
Yeah, so that's all it is. It's not, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. It was a suggestion somebody made years ago, and it's kind of caught on, because I realized it early on, because I wanted to answer people and I kept missing what frequency they're on. I also don't like when people just go KO4EFS. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. I know it's not HF. You don't have to go CQ, but at least come on and say, I always like to come on and say KO4 EFS on frequency listening 775. And that gives people a second to realize somebody's on the radio, they're on this channel, and that's how I do it. But
and they may also think they just turned on the AM radio.
Maybe. Who knows?
KO4 EFS on your 80 AM radio dial.
Be the fifth caller now.
What's AM radio?
Yes.
Yeah, I always just say listening, I must admit. So yeah, good idea.
Yeah, but no, either way. Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's no wrong way to do it.
No, especially if you're on a link system,
Unless you talk like a C or B, then you can lose your license. If you say breaker 19, you can lose your license.
Wow,
really?
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
Well,
see, you
breaker 250.
You missed all the drama, man. You've missed all the drama.
I saw the. I
Oh, okay. All right.
I've been watching the shows on YouTube on a Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, I mean, if I had been watching the I mean, that was what, the 23rd or 24th of August, wasn't it, when Joseph was
Hamcation, what is it called? Huntsville Hamfest.
Huntsville Hamfest. When they were
up there.
playing the Fool or whatever on 250, which I had no problem with. But I saw that one. If my comment would have been on that, is just that Joseph should have just let it go. I don't think he should have brought it up on YouTube as a separate thing or whatever, but that's how I do things. I mean, I just ignore it.
I get it.
Yeah, a lot of those things I blow off,
because there's whatever you do, somewhere along the line, it's going to give amateur radio a little bit of a bad name, where
Yeah.
if you just, that guy, he didn't check his facts or whatever. He probably only listened to 5 minutes of it and got pissed off and then came down with a poker up his ass or something. And he went off. He didn't he didn't check it properly.
People
But
just
then
get-
again, Joseph should have, in my opinion, but we're all entitled to our own. I would have just let it drop and not.
I think I would have just told them, go get a life and get over it,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. But I wouldn't
I'm
have
somewhere
promoted
between.
it afterwards.
I'm somewhere between where you're at and where Joseph's at, because I do stand my ground on a lot of things, and I saw lightning outside for the first time. I like to stand my ground on a lot of things, and I probably would have stood my ground on this. But yeah, I know I get it, and it's one of those things. It's important to some hams to keep all these frequencies available for emergency traffic.
Yeah.
Even though I've never in 2 years heard emergency traffic on these frequencies, but apparently it comes at some point.
It does. Actually, and I can tell you the date if I think about it. When I was driving back from Jacksonville, I had scanner on and I was scanning the standard frequencies or whatever. And I was way up. I came down. Actually, it was your idea from about a year ago or something. I came back from Orlando, eventually going through Sebring. I came down that road on the way
27,
home.
yeah.
27, something like that. I came all that way down there and I was listening, it was scanning around. All of a sudden, SARNet came alive and there was a bunch of guys reporting rotating clouds.
Yeah.
Over, I think, somewhere north of Fort Myers, and eventually it got back to the right people, and it was I was listening to NPR, I think it was, and it was actually put out there as a warning. It was only like a weather warning or whatever, but it did come through, so which was kind of interesting. I had like 2 hours to listen to it. So I was listening to the guys reporting it. I was listening to the guys asking the questions on SARNet. And then the guy called the weather station, I believe at Tampa, or the weather authority or whatever at Tampa. They looked at it and issued a weather warning, all from that, which I thought, and then there was nothing. I haven't seen anything in the newsletter from FRMSC, so I don't know. But that was my only time listening to it down here.
They had a funnel cloud up at Disney World here in the last couple of days.
Oh, wow.
Disney, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. But you say, that was an emergency kind of thing. And that's the first time.
And I've heard accidents reported on SARNet. SARNet is probably the one exception you'll hear. I also know that you'll hear Skywarn on the NI4CE out of Tampa, which I know is probably too far. Verna is 39 miles from me, so I know it's going to be too far for you to get. But Verna up there, they got 5 repeaters up there around the Tampa area that are all linked together, and they have a radio for that right there at the Ruskin Weather Service office, right just south of Tampa. So there's that, and then SARNet has someone monitoring that also directly connects with the weather service for Skywarn as well. So if you're in Skywarn, that's really your only 2 options. That's one reason I started the WatchNet, was to try to give an option for Lee, Collier, and Charlotte Henry counties to have somebody they can call that can get a hold of somebody else and get a hold of somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but that's the whole thing. I do like SARNet. I monitor. I've got this little Chinese radio right here, and it does nothing but monitor SARNet all day long. It just sits there, and I listen to it all day. There's what K4NRD, I think, is his number up there. He answers up quite a bit. He monitors it. Seems like 24 hours a day, and I think there's 40 repeaters on that thing right now. So
I was going to say, I do believe it was. I think that was the guy who initially took the call.
Yeah.
Right.
And then processed it, however. But I'm saying, as I used to live in Pennsylvania, that there was a lot of emergencies on the radio
Right.
there, particularly during Sandy and various other events. But that's the first time I've ever heard one down here. So, and I was quite impressed, actually. It was handled very well. Bunch of people came on reporting it, confirming the initial report. Let's put it that way. And it went on for like 2 hours. I think the rotation eventually, and there was people asking questions like, "Are you an official weather reporter or something?" And they were giving their number. It was done very
Right.
it was done right. It was done how it should be. But
That's
the
good.
first time I've ever heard anything. And it was nice to hear the end product, listening to NPR all of a sudden on the weather. It came up as it was the kind of the lowest level of warning, whatever that is.
It would have been
warning,
a special weather statement.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I kind of followed it from the initial call right through.
All right.
It made my last 2 hours of travel quite interesting, and I could listen to it. I think it finished as I was just getting off on Bonita Beach Road off of 75, so it was kind of cool.
All right. Well, that's a perfect segue into our next segment here. And so we'll just go ahead and let that be the segue. Let's take a look at our storm that we have out here. This is Tropical Storm Fiona. And it is starting to look more and more like we're not going to have to deal with this thing. There was several models just early yesterday that put this thing in the Gulf as a Cat 2 hurricane. So this is good news for us. The only bad news is it is going to slow down quite a bit right here. And as you guys know, anytime you slow one of these systems down, what you end up doing is you bring in instability. And of course, anytime you bring in instability, there could be a chance of a course change. And so that's kind of what you're looking at here. What we got a pretty interesting setup here. You guys know there's huge mountains over here in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, yeah.
There's 10,000. Yeah. So it's got 24 hours of really difficult land interaction coming up right here. But then it's going to move into more favorable conditions out here. And they're thinking by the time it gets to 2 p.m. Wednesday, that it's going to be a hurricane. I do want to go run the models because I haven't really messed with the models since before the early show that I did. Trey was out tonight, so we had Mike Apelko. We had a fill-in host tonight. So my call screener actually produced the last hour of the show, so I could be here with you guys tonight. So I really appreciate that.
Her name is Katrina.
That's right, Katrina. Yeah. Kat's great. I've been teaching her how to be a producer, and she's become a very good one. And she's producing now our shows when Jake and I are not in. She's now our fill-in producer. So that's how you start in radio. You know how it is, right? But anyway, so here we go. We got this now. I do want to go back and let's run the models. I always like to run the models. Let's go down here and pull up a better region. I like to pull up something. Where's the one I normally get? Here we go. Yeah, let's pull up this one. All right, now let's run this forward. This is the American model, which has not been a good performer lately. Let's see what the latest run. It has it going north early. Notice it has it going north before it even gets to the big mountains. It has it going north and then up and alley-oop, and it's out. But look at that. 944, 940, 938. That's a Cat 3 hurricane.
That's a pretty strong hurricane, yeah.
You could have literally a broaching Cat 5 at 938. So that's an aggressive format, aggressive forecast right there yeah. So that's quite aggressive. Let's look and see what the Euro, our best performer from last year. And it's the Euro, our best performer from last year. All right. So let's take a look at this one here and let's see where we go. Going to come right up through there, right in there, Hispaniola, and slows it down,
It hits it.
and then that's kind of as far as this one goes. So we're gonna have to wait till morning. They're gonna run this again overnight, and then come morning we can run this again and take a peek. This one had it coming up and brushing right by us, and coming up and then stopping right about there. So
Ooh.
that was a bit of a scary forecast on this
And
one.
that water up in the Gulf of Mexico is still pretty hot.
Yeah, there's actually something going on. I think you guys probably know about this, especially if you listen to the show here, because I do talk about this quite a bit, because I think it's something pretty important. We've got this loop current
Yeah.
that basically is doing this right now, and I'm not drawing phallic symbols, but this loop current basically does this. And it goes up and it comes around and it comes back down. And this is very hot. The last time we saw this loop current set up like this was the year Katrina hit up there. Not my call screener, the other one. Yeah, so that's, you know, it's like one of those things, you know. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at the Canadian model and see what the Canadians think's going to happen. I don't know. And people always ask me, why do Canadians have a hurricane center? Believe it or not, they get hit by hurricanes every now and then. It happens. And it could happen with this one, believe it or not. Let's see here, 997, 994, 992, 988. This one deepens it into a major hurricane. It could go up towards a major hurricane. Didn't get it quite that high, but we're in the 967 range, and then straight out it gets caught up and it goes right out. Yeah, this will have very little effect on Florida at all. So there you go. So it really is not looking like a threat like it was. We can look at some of the spaghetti runs that have been done. This is kind of a weird one, but you can kind of see here, there's very few outliers now that are putting it over towards Florida. So, I mean,
I got one outlier. It looks like it's running it over toward Jacksonville, but that's it. And then there's that other one running it toward the Savannah.
Yeah.
And
Usually when you get these wild ones like this, these are because they're just, when they run a model, they'll run that model over and over and over again with different starting points. And every now and then you'll get one that goes way askew. And that's why they take the preponderance of the models and they make the prediction for that model based on that. It's actually hundreds of runs in some cases before they come up with just one of these colored lines. So it's an interesting science. Here's another one. This is from Tropical Tidbits. What looks like another great run for Florida. That's a great run for Florida right there. Even the outliers. Yeah, even the outliers are showing an Atlantic storm. So that's a good. That's all good there. So as far as the intensity, there is several models that take this well up into Cat 4. More likely going to be a Cat 3 at its strongest. But if I was going to guess, but yeah, I mean, wow, we're talking 132 hours out. That's after it pulls off of Haiti and Hispaniola and starts its northern trek. It's going to run into some fairly favorable conditions, some lower shear, and so there you go. Where is it at right now? Well, there it is. It's sitting right there,
right over the islands,
right over the Leeward Islands there. So yeah. All right. So there you go. And is there any other thing you guys want to talk about with the hurricanes?
Yeah, Ian, if you take a broader view for a little bit, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. There's some interesting stuff going on in the North Pacific. And that's why, California are about to get a shitload of rain, and then it's going to get really, really hot in the middle of the country because there's this active storm over, in the north part, and it's huge. It's really huge over in the north part of the Pacific Ocean. I mean, it's not affecting us. Well, it is, because it's pushing the weather down a little bit, which should push these hurricanes away. But I don't know
Right.
if you can see it. I was watching it on.
Truthfully, this website is really geared for the Atlantic
Yeah,
area, and it's hard to get anything on that side of the country over there on this particular website.
yeah. Brian, when I was
Yeah.
called Ryan, whatever his name is.
Ryan Hall, y'all. Yeah.
Yeah. He had something on it earlier today, but I was watching it from. Can't remember which website I was watching it from now, but it was just a point of interest to see. Really, it was a massive storm, one of the biggest ones as far as area is concerned. It wasn't particularly powerful, but it is pushing. There it is.
Yeah.
You got it there, top right hand corner. There you go. So it's pushing all the weather.
Tropical storm, but
Yeah,
Wow.
it's making its way up to.
Looks like a nor'easter on the wrong side.
the wrong side of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see its effects. It's going to bring in the middle of California. It's going to bring in a lot of water there, which of course they're
well,
desperate.
now, wait a
for.
minute. Are you sure this is October 24th? Is this current or is this old?
No, that's an old one.
That's an
The
old
new one looked very similar to that. It actually looked a little bigger.
that good old Google, man, you know.
Yeah.
I've clicked on 3 or 4 different things. This must be it setting up here. Yeah, here it is coming down here.
Yeah.
It's going to look like that in a few days.
Yeah.
You got a low just north of Hawaiian Islands there. You can see it.
Yeah, basically it runs from below the Hawaiian Islands right the way up to Alaska. It's like massive. It's almost the size of the
Yeah.
US.
The one that's hitting Alaska right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole thing's coming off of here. It looks like it's going to come right down.
But it's
Wow.
Yeah. As I say, it's of very little interest to us, but it was just an interesting thing.
Look at the plume of clouds over Florida, all the way on the right.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're getting
Oh,
now.
I was going to say, we've got a real situation here. We got a lot of moisture out in the Gulf. It's just sitting out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of it out
It's
there.
been this way all day.
Yeah. It's been like 3 or 4 days, actually. It's been like that. It's crazy. Here's a good one.
It's been starting early and it's been finishing late
Yeah.
to the normal weather pattern. Yeah.
Normally you'll get a thunderstorm, say at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but
And then it's gone by 6.
yeah,
And now we've been getting them 1, 2 o'clock, and they're still here at 9, 10 o'clock at night.
hanging on real late.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
But look at
Yep.
that map. And you can see you can see a low over there just south of Mobile and Pensacola.
Yeah, there is a spin there, but National Hurricane Center is not worried about this area. But I mean,
No,
there's three.
Which to
There's
say, we got the advantage that the stuff that's happening over there in the Pacific is pushing across the country, making the middle of the country really, really warm, pushing the Gulf Stream down a little bit more, which is actually pushing the hurricanes a little bit. And these things, as you know, you don't need to push them far, do you?
No.
So it's pushing it just a little bit away from us, from what
No,
I can
'cause
gather.
a little push today makes a big difference in 3 days.
Yeah, that's right. In 3 or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 days time. I'm still sticking. I like your 15-degree theory. I'm sticking with that.
I'll tell you what, you'll be right about 80% of the time.
Yeah, I've been, utilizing that a lot. It kind of
Yep.
makes sense. I've actually, when I had nothing to do, I was looking back a little bit over the years and where the hurricane started. And you're pretty good. Those 15, anything below 15 is
Yeah. By and large, I mean,
Yeah.
Donna
and
and
large.
Irma
Yeah.
were 2 cases which were north of 20 degrees and
Yeah.
came in and hit Florida anyway.
Yeah, but they
Right.
dipped down. They really dipped down right into the.
Yeah, Andrew actually dipped down quite a bit. It
Yeah.
actually came down. It came southwest for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it
no,
was-
and just so you guys know what he's talking about, not to belabor the point. But my theory is pretty much this is the top of the Windward Leeward Island chain right here.
Yeah.
And it's not really 15 or 20, it's more like 18. But I
Yeah,
take that line right there, right above these islands. That's my line. And if the storm is below this line when it gets to here, there's a real good chance that's going to be a Gulf storm. This one will probably prove my theory wrong,
Yeah.
which
that's what we
happens
understand.
about 80% of the time. I'm right.
Yeah.
I can handle that. That's a decent percentage.
Yeah.
That's a higher percentage than the government or the vaccine. So I figured what the hell. But anyway, so anything above this line, if it gets to this island chain right here, this Windward Leeward Island chain, if it gets there before it gets above this line right here, chances are it's a Gulf storm.
Yeah.
This one's doing kind of an unusual alley-oop here, because
Yeah.
normally when they're under these islands, they generally come on into the Gulf.
Yeah, the Bermuda High is off to the east a lot right now, and has been for quite a
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
Well, I've been using the 15-degree line. So if you use the 15-degree line and you push your red line down onto the 15, you might find you're a little more accurate, because this one is going to, it's not going to be a Gulf storm.
Yeah, but most of them aren't that low. Truthfully, I mean, it's
yeah. I don't know.
most of them are right in this area here
Yeah.
when they come through.
Yeah.
But
I've been looking further towards Africa when they start below the 15.
right.
So,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, we're talking a few degrees one way or the other, but it's interesting that they do seem to, the lower they are, the more likely they are to hit the Gulf. So,
Yeah, because like Rick said, there's generally always a high pressure sitting out here.
setting up there, yeah.
And when they come across, if this turns into a fetch, it will fetch them up into it like
Yeah.
that. And that's exactly
Yeah.
what's going to happen here.
Yeah, and then you've got the Gulf Stream, the major, the jet stream. If that pushes down a little bit, gets into Alabama, Mississippi, where it dips, because it always dips. If it gets down there, then it's going to be pushing it over to the right a little bit as well. But if it still drops down into Alabama, but then the storm is lower, it's not going to affect it. It's probably going to keep it lower,
And I think we do kind of have a little bit of a dip going on, like this right now.
yeah,
So that's going to be a blocking low there.
Front.
yeah, that's pushing
Yeah.
it over.
Right.
But
And
as we know, this is not an exact science.
Of course not.
No.
And these are just rules of thumb. I mean, you're
Yeah.
going to have an exception here and there.
Yeah,
But,
they're kind
yeah,
of
I think
somebody says something and you remember it, or I remember it, and that's what I've been
I
remembering.
mean, I think it's basically true that when you get below that line, that storm's going to go further west and
yeah,
maybe hit Florida or go into the Gulf of Mexico, or maybe even go into Central America.
It's almost like once it gets up into this area here, right in this area here, it starts getting sucked up. Sucked up.
to the north. Yeah.
But if it slides through that area, then it makes it all the way over into the Gulf.
causes all sorts of
Yeah.
chaos. Yeah.
That sure seems to be the thing. And I've been watching
then-
these.
Yeah.
I used to have a big map on my bedroom wall, and every year my parents would buy me a new hurricane map, and I would hang it on my wall. And every 6 hours, I would wait up till 11 o'clock at night because I had to plot that map before I went to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a freak, dude. I was a freak. We had no hurricanes
Nice.
hit here for 40 years. It used to piss me off. It's like we literally are the country's ding dong, and we're hanging down here just looking for a storm. And they're just flying by. You know, in my 13 years of public schooling, K through 12, I never missed a day of school.
Hmm.
Not now. I did because I was sick or something, but I'm saying my school never missed a day. We
No,
never had a power out day, a storm day, anything. Nothing. Bullshit.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, I'll tell you what, it's interesting. Another little story, just real quick. I'll be quick. My stepdaughter's a teacher, and they just had a day out last week because the internet went down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because all their teachers now, they've all the kids have got iPads or PowerBooks, and the board is a big ass computer, touch board and everything. Yeah?
Right.
And the internet's down, so they can't teach.
Oh, right.
I was in a restaurant about 6 months ago, a fast food restaurant. I'm not going to mention which one. And I'm standing there and they're like, I'm sorry, we can't serve you. And I'm like, why? The food's right there. It's hot. And they're like, our register's down. And I'm like, okay.
And
I'm like, I'll give you the money and you make my change, and then you tell them what I want and they make it. They did that for 200,000 years before computers. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, when Jesus was on earth, he'd walk up to the window and say 2 burgers, and they'd hand him 2 burgers. I mean, this has been going on a very long time. Okay. And that computer was down, and that chick was not making me a taco. Okay. She was not making it. Doesn't matter. And I told her, I'm like, you're telling me that the computer's down. You have the stuff to make the taco. You have the knowledge. You don't need the computer to tell you how to make the taco, because I can tell you that if you need me to. So you don't need the computer for that. You need the computer because you don't know how to deal with money.
Or do your job, yeah.
That's the bottom line. And you probably don't have a piece of paper to write my order down on. That's the other problem. There's not a pad of paper in this whole place.
And then the back end is that they can't order what they've used.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing. Well, if we do that, then we won't know how much beef to order next week,
Yeah.
So,
well, they don't order it anymore. It just goes automatic,
That's right. Ordering is all done automatically now for most of these places, and it's all done right off the computer. All right, the last thing I want to show you guys, it's already after 10 o'clock, so I want to keep moving here. I need to go eat my dinner because I'm starting to get a little So I want to show you guys a program that you guys can download yourself. It's a great program. Should work on most of your computers. It's called Kden Live, KDEN LIVE. And that's all you have to do is just type that in, KIDNLIVE. And here, I'll show you.
Wait a minute. You spelled it KDEN Live or KIDN Live?
It's KDEN LIVE. And here, I got it right here.
Kden Live. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
All right. And there it is right there. And this is basically a program that you download into your system, and it allows you to make movies, make television, make internet broadcast, make YouTube videos, make anything you want. And I used to be a very good video editor. I'm still a very good audio editor. Obviously, I do it for a living. But I've been wanting to get back. Let me turn Sarnet off. I've been wanting to get back into it. And so I've got a client that's paying me now to make episodes for him. I had to relearn it, and I did. And so I used K-Lite. Let me go ahead and stop this share on that. And I'm going to share this screen. This is actually what the program looks like. Now, my client, Park Shore Coin, Scott Heiligman, great guy. I'm sure he wouldn't mind me using this as a demonstration tonight. But he is one of my clients, and what he does is basically, it's a radio show. And what I've done is I've turned it into an internet show, and I'm going to show you guys what I did. Each of these are the elements of the video. Okay. Each thing is a different element. The order that they're in is the order that you look down. Like if you're looking down from above, the things on top, you'll see on top, and the things on the bottom, you won't see on the bottom if there's something covering it. So the order of the slides, the order of the video, the order of the pictures, whatever, is based on the stack order of these lines that you see right here. So notice up here in the upper right here, this is the actual video. Okay. And so as we play it, we're going to watch what we see up here. And I'm going to go ahead and play it just for a minute here. And you can see how we're playing over here. Now, I want you to notice Scott's down here with the music and everything. This is what this is. This is the audio. That's the video. This is the actual recording from the studio. See, there's Scott sitting there. But I'm not showing that yet because I'm covering it up with this one, which is a shot of his building as we fly in a drone. Okay. And so because this one is on top of this one, you don't see it. So I don't have to get rid of it. I can leave it there. I just have something over the top of it so you don't see it. So now what you're seeing, that's the opening of the show. So I'm going to let it play for a minute. I don't think you guys can hear it. It doesn't matter. The audio is not important. But notice as we zoom in here, what's the next thing you see here? It's the title of the show coming up. Okay. So you can see I've got it above this one. So it's going to show on top. And there it comes. There's the title of the show. And then you can see I put in another piece of video here. This thing's having a problem because I'm doing 3 things with this computer at one time here. And see, these are all just clips. See that's the clip right there that you're looking at. And now we go into the regular video, and you can see him there. That's he's this one here. The man that you see is this one here. This is the logo. This logo is right here. And this is the bar that you see up on top up here. See how that works? And you can come over here and you can reorder these. You can turn these on and off. You can lock and unlock them so they can't be moved. There's all kinds of different things you can do with it.
So how do you import all these different things?
Well, it's pretty easy. I simply go over here to Project Ben and I drag them in and drop them into here. Once they're here, then I can drag them from here right down to the timeline and they play. It's that simple.
These
Pictures,
videos that you drop in, and then what do you do with the audio? Can you bring that in the same way?
Yes. Yes, you can bring in a video that already has audio, which is what I did here. This video has its own piece of audio. See it there? But I've got this audio line turned off. See how I've got that turned off?
Oh, right, yeah.
This has audio too, but I don't want to hear that audio, so I've got it down here where it's turned off. That clip has audio. It's right there. That clip has audio. It's here. These 2 clips is right together. So everything above this line is video and everything below this line is audio. That's how the editing works. So when you look at this, you're looking down from the top and the things are stacked in the order that you see here. Let me give you another example here. We're gonna transition from this screen into a spinning earth type screen, and you're gonna see how these are gonna fade. See that little fade? They're gonna fade down. The earth comes in. Now we're watching this one full screen, and then see that red is the fade down, the green is the fade up. Boom! It fades into the nice shot coming along. You see how freaking easy this is? Don't tell anybody how easy it is.
How did you set the fade though?
Like this. You just drag it. Like if I want to start, look, see how it just fades early.
So that's a crossfade, or you can have a cut. Oh wow, that's cool.
Yep. Yeah. If you want to cut something, here, let me save this. Okay. If you want to cut something, like let's say I want to cut this off early. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can hit the scissors and actually go like that, and boom, look, it just cut it for me.
Oh, wow.
Now I can move that however I want, or I can hit delete and get rid of it. Now I got rid of it. Oh, shit, I need it back. I can literally just grab the end of this and stretch it out because it's not a video, it's a picture. So I can just stretch it back down again, and now no harm done. And now I just go like this till I see the little red mark. and I drag my little zoomer over. And now what that'll
and
do.
now, if you don't like what you've done, how can you undo? Can you undo?
You can undo anything because it's not done yet.
Control-C.
Well,
You
yeah. I
just
mean,
cut a piece off if you want to get that back.
oh, yeah. You just go up here to edit, undo,
Oh, okay. Right. I got
edit,
it. Yeah.
undo, edit, undo. You can always do that.
And there it
and
is.
see if
Okay,
I go
yeah.
back, edit, undo, and there we go. I'm back to where I started.
And the
Oh, that's
shortcut
cool. I
is
like that.
Control-Z.
Yeah, Control Z will get you
Yeah.
back there. I use Control Z, Control C, and Control V. Those are the
Yep.
three I use. Everything else I use the mouse for. So that's it. Those are my three hotkeys. But anyway, so
you should
so
set
can
us all a challenge. You say, like, in 3 weeks' time, I want to see a 3-minute video from you all. You know.
so you're saying I should assign homework?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why
I don't
not?
know about that. But no, I would love it if you guys make one. We'll show it on here.
And critique.
Absolutely. I love making this stuff. So see, we get back to here. Now remember, he's always on the bottom. So all I have to do is fade out of this and we're back to him again because he's already there. So watch, we're coming into here. Now I'm going to fade these two back in again while I'm going to fade this one out. Here it comes and we're back. Everything's back in. And isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything's literally done right there. So like here, I'm going to change the image next to him. We're talking about the spot price of metal. So while we talk about that, I want to switch that logo out. Instead of being his logo, I want to switch it out for the spot price of metal logo. Boom, it fades out. It's in there. You don't, isn't that cool?
That's really cool. So one more question. I'm asking all these stupid questions. I really love this. So obviously getting the video is relatively easy and you can ignore the video that, the audio that comes with video. So say I take a bunch of videos and I've got them all set up like that. How do I record like a commentary on the bottom? Can I do that in here? Because that's what I'm having trouble with.
I'm not sure yet. I'm only about 10% versed in this program. I'm letting you guys know. I'm learning as I go. I have not done that yet. The other one I used to use, you used to be able to arm a track and then hit record and literally do the narration while you're watching the video play. I don't know how to do that with this one, but it might be possible. I don't know. Let's see here.
Yeah, because that's what I have problems with is I can make a bunch of stills and a bunch of videos, so I've got everything ready, and then I don't want to use my audio when I'm talking about it because you've got wind noise and all the rest of the crap.
Right.
I just want to now record into something, and I don't know what to record into. I guess I could use something.
I could send you something that you could use that's like Audition, like an old version of Audition or something. But truthfully, Audacity works really well. There's a lot of different, or you could just, your computer probably already has an audio recorder, and just use your good mic and set it to record. And then once you get your video built, you set it to record, and then you start your video and you do your narration in your mic while you're watching your video.
Yeah.
Then when you're done, you hit stop. Then you drag that video into your timeline and line it up with your video, and you're done. That would be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it right now, because I don't know the fancy way to do it yet. But that's all I would do is I would watch the video, narrate it, and then I would then take that file that I just made and stick it on top of the video. And you're all set.
Okay. But you can edit the audio as well. Can cut chunks out of it or not?
You can. Yep.
So
if it's the same file, like these are locked together because they're the same file. So if I cut this, it's going to cut the audio and the video. If you drag the audio in separate, then you can cut things out of the audio and deal with it that way too. You can deal with the audio just like you deal with video separately.
Video. That's cool.
Right.
I like this. So, and
I'm telling you,
website, and it said about pricing, but you say it's completely free.
It's completely free.
For how long?
It says right on there, free and open source video editor. This was built by just folks.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can't find it now. I've got too many windows open.
Yeah, I have that problem. Try doing it with 7 screens.
I've got 5.
I get completely lost sometimes where stuff is.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll get like a video playing in the background, and I'll get so pissed. I'll be like, I've been through 12 windows and 7 screens, and I can't find this thing that's playing.
That's the worst thing I get is I put it on a YouTube, and this is really annoying with YouTube, and I don't know if it's my setup or what. But you watch a YouTube and you get halfway through. I was watching something the other day on Led Zeppelin, and then I went for dinner and I came back. As soon as you touch the space bar, you know, because everything dies, it starts playing.
Yeah.
And I got like, you know, 3, as I say, I've got 5 screens, and I've got, you know, quite a few tabs on a couple of the screens, you know, when I use all my potent ham radio, when I use all the rest of the junk and everything. And I'm trying to find a freaking one, because I find that, oh, I've got 5 YouTubes open. And I'm trying to find the one that's actually speaking at the moment or playing music. Sends me crazy. I'm thinking there's got to be an easier way. But yeah, okay, so it's not just me.
No, it's not. Trust me. All right. So just to give you guys a couple more little examples here, this is a pretty busy section here. Notice I've got the Proxy Big logo, which is right here. And I've told it where I want that logo. See, I can move it to the right, to the left. I can center it. I can put it pretty much wherever I want. So I told it to go ahead and take it to the left and go ahead and center it. And so that's where it shows up there. You can also put in where you want it, or there's a way to do it freehand. Let's see, you can just literally click it and freehand it. Put it where you want it. There you go. Now, it's going to come in here, and notice we're going to transition again into a whole different thing. This is the phone number of the Park Shore Coin website you see right there. And this is the banner at the top. It's going to fade all that stuff out. And now we're going to look at the Earth as it's coming in. That's the only thing playing right now is just this. Then we're going to come back to here, and it's going to put a bunch of things back on the screen again. I'm going to show the proxy bid in the middle now. That's right there. That's the website, and that's the thing in the background with the moving video that you see in the background. See how they're stacked up? You have to stack them in the order that you want to see them in. Then we come back to this. I'm going to put the top banner back up at the top, logo next to him, and boom, this faded out. So we're back to the original video, which is on the bottom. When everything else is off, you see what's on the bottom. You just have to think of it like a stack of papers.
Yeah.
And you know where the cutouts are, you can see through to the next paper, and where those cutouts are, you can see through to the next paper. And you have to think of it as a 3D mat, basically. We get up to here. What I did here was I put an inlay. I took the logo. See, the logo's going to fade out right here. Logo's going to fade out. And this little video here is going to fade in. So watch what happens. Now, this is down here where it's silent. I don't want the video sound, so it's silent. And look, I'm showing the video next to him. So we basically have a video playing on top of another video with its audio.
That's cool.
I mean, I'm making money with this. I'm actually learning how to do this so that I can make money with it, because I think this is amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing what you can do with this stuff. And I'm going to start doing this more often. And then at the end of the show, basically, he's talking about coming to the auction. The auction's tomorrow. His first auction, big auction's tomorrow. Scott's a great guy. I've been working for him now for about a year. And here we go. Look at this. This is the end of the show.
Where is that?
And this is down in Naples, right at Immokalee in 75. Just behind the McDonald's there. He's right in
that's
that.
75 on the right hand side there. That's right where the Red Cross used to be, where we had our our club and all the rest of it until they sold it. Not far from
But
me.
again, all I did was took the drone footage and just I'm using the drone footage as basically stock footage. And what I'm doing right now is I'm talking about here's his phone number, here's how to get a hold of him, here's where his office is. And that little video you just saw right there, I made that. I downloaded a thing called Google Earth Pro. It's free. It's called Google Earth Pro. You download it, and then you can set your first point and your last point and tell it to go, and then just record that video, and you get that really cool zooming in video effect that you just saw. I made all this. I made both of these shows. They're both 30 minutes long. And the first one took 4 hours. The second one took an hour and a half because I already had all the pieces in there.
Mhm. So how about music? Where'd you get, whatever it's called, free music, royalty-free music?
What I do is I go on YouTube and I type royalty free music.
Oh, okay.
And whatever genre I'm looking for. And then when I find the one I want, I use my virtual cable and I just run it into my, I run it into a recorder and just record it right off. Or I have a plugin in Firefox that allows me to download to strip MP3s off of YouTube videos, which I don't use that much anymore. I just normally just record it off. It's
But they're
easier.
not royalty free, are they?
If they're on YouTube and there's no license on them and they're listed as royalty free, then yeah, you can use them on YouTube.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I found some cool royalty free music. I actually went on and within 5 minutes, I found a nice piece of theme music that I'm probably going to use for this show.
Yeah, because YouTube are really, really, really bad on that at the moment. If you've got a piece of music on there and they think it's not royalty free, they'll just dump your video.
Well, the good news is most of them, like the ones for Scott here, we're getting copyright claimed, but it's a song that's old and they're allowing us to use it. So it's not a problem. I've got one video I've got on our site here that we played something in it. I don't know what. And because of that, it was banned in 3 countries.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm trying to think, what is it that we played that would be banned in 3 countries? And you look at, okay, well, what countries is it? It's Paraguay and Zimbabwe and I don't know, something else. And it's like, I don't think I'm not going to stay up at night worrying about that.
Still 2 continents.
Yeah. No, but it's just, it's weird. YouTube is weird how they do things. They're overly on this and not enough on that. And it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just wanted to take a few minutes, guys, to show you, if you're smart enough to program a ham radio, you can be a video editor and it doesn't cost anything to get started. I haven't even gotten into chroma keying. I was big into chroma key stuff where you like green screen, that kind of thing. I got into a lot of different things when I was doing it before, and I really love video editing, and I'm glad I'm back into it. And this weekend, I plan on making several videos for our YouTube here. And Joseph and I both are going to start coming out with product review videos sorry, I'm yawning. Product review videos and also how-to videos and little things like that, and little explainer videos. We get a lot of hits on those. They seem to be very popular. There's the shorter videos. These 3-hour lives, they don't get as high on the algorithms for some reason.
It's a long time for people to find time to watch them. What's the window in the middle at the top?
This actually shows you, like, when you're selecting over here, it shows you your clip.
What your clip.
And you can also edit your clip here before you drag it in, which I haven't even played with yet.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. When I tell you guys I'm fresh with this, I've already made money with this. And I don't even know how to use it all yet. So it's really cool if you think about it. I'm already making money with it, and it's I'm just new to it. I already knew how to do the timeline and everything, but I don't know. I really think it's cool. If you guys want to learn more about this, I'd be glad to pull you onto a private Zoom and spend an hour tutoring you up to where I'm at. But this is really, it really isn't that hard to do.
So all the little symbols. Oh, so it's got. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Screen.
I
Yeah, that's
literally,
okay.
right when you went to point to the screen there, I
Yeah.
clicked it off anyway. But yeah, so
Yeah,
what were you
all
saying?
the little symbols. If you hover over them, do they tell you what they do? Oh,
Yes.
no. Oh, they do. Oh, yeah. Lift time. Okay, cool. So it's a really properly written piece of software.
Look, for a free piece of software, this thing's well
It
written.
looks amazing. Yeah.
I'm making 3K video, 4K, 10K, whatever the hell the high one is. I'm making those videos on here with my new system. And when I used to make these videos with my old system, which is still a great laptop over here, but it's just it's only 2 years old, and I paid a lot of money for it, but it just doesn't have a rocket processor in it. It takes a long time to process this video. I think a lot of people don't realize. It normally takes about 1 to 1. For every minute of video you're processing, it should take your computer, give or take, 1 minute to process it. At the end, with my old system, if I was doing high def like this, it would take about 7 minutes per minute to process.
So
my new computer is processing at about 20 seconds per minute. So I'm processed a 34-minute show in like 12, 13 minutes. It was amazing. And if I could figure out how to go ahead.
Yeah. So if you save it, you've done all this, and I guess you save it as native or whatever within the software. How do you save it?
You
Or
can
what do you
save
it. What do you save it as for like showing people or something?
Well, you can save this as a completed project. Now, once you're done with the project, yes, absolutely. Once you're done with the project, you can save the project so you can come back and work on it later or change it later. But when you're ready to show people, what you're going to do is you're going to render it.
Oh, okay.
And when you render it, this is where you choose what kind of video you want to render it to. So, and that's done right here. And then you've got your job queue. There's the 2 I made right there. You can see them. But
so you've got those as MP4s.
Yeah, you can.
That's high definition. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, there is all kinds
4K
of
MP4. I got it. Yeah. So that's compatible with YouTube and most of the other. Oh, you got MPEGs as well. MPEG 4 as well. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and this video actually it came out. It looks really nice on YouTube. Hold on, if I show it to you, then it's not going to work because it'll just. Hey, what's up?
Hey, we've got haters on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, they say that we lost worldwide credibility.
Really?
Can you believe that? Yeah, on the YouTube
I
chat.
don't care.
They said you lost all. They called it the Friday night coffee break, and they said that we lost worldwide credibility because of the Hamfest shenanigans.
Nice.
that's what I said. They were copying what I said.
I was like, oh, thanks for coming and watching the show. Guess we don't have any credibility anymore, guys. Sorry, gonna have to shut down the stream.
Yeah. We suck so bad. We just need to be kicked off. We'll just kick ourselves off.
Yeah,
that's okay though, because I started off with 0 credibility anyway. So I've not lost anything.
Still have more credibility than much of the news media. So.
Credibility is not given; it's earned.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I can spell it.
Yeah. I just in the chat room, I just put the link to that video if you guys want to see what it to see what it looks like on your system. But
Dave,
that's
Dave, first of all, welcome back. But have you not heard what happened at Hamfest?
Yeah, I did. I what I've been doing, I explained to everyone else. I was in the the Mayo Clinic a couple of weeks up in Jacksonville, and then my friends have been turning up randomly on a Friday. But also we've been doing POTA on a Friday, so we've been going out and doing the late shift. And so, you know, by the time I come back, to be honest, I'm just knackered and I go to bed. So I haven't been ignoring you guys or whatever, but, and then there was a couple of odd things. I mean, I've only been gone like 5 weeks or so. It's nice to be missed anyway. Thanks very much. But yeah, I watched
And Joseph and I actually had, Joseph and I spent 20 minutes on the phone trying to figure out what we said to piss you off.
I'm British, you know, and come on, you know.
That's
Like,
exactly what Joseph said. He goes, I know we didn't piss him off because he ain't like that. So
no. It's like I said to some friends this morning, yesterday morning, because we were going out to do POTA, you know, and it was raining. And they said, shit, are we still going because it's raining? I said, look, I'm British. If I didn't go out to do POTA in the rain, I'd never do it. And it's like, you know, self-deprivation is our standard form of humor, you know. If you never take a compliment from an Englishman, because you've got to look at it and figure it out, because half the time he's actually insulting you, you know. They throw in things like, oh, yeah, no, for a Yank, you're a really good guy. You know, and you think, oh, that's great. You think so? Hang on, you know, for a Yankee.
Yeah, and then and then after you walk away, you think about it, and all of a sudden, you in the back of your mind, you hear that wasn't so good at all.
Hey, Ian, I got a couple of products I can share if you're interested.
Yes, please.
Sure,
Go ahead.
go for it.
One of them is a cheap
Okay, I like it so far.
Amazon,
Good word.
and
He's in my price range.
Amazon link is in the tech chat room.
Okay.
You can click on it, and if you think it's cool, you can share it.
Oh, okay.
If you have more than one computer, you have more than one computer, keyboard and mouse.
I do.
That little sucker is a real handy little device. Even if you don't, for $11, you can put your keyboard at a better angle. It's just a piece of acrylic. It's somebody heated up and bended, put it on a bender and put the rubber thing on it. And it's great.
I use these for my radios, my little radios, when I'm out doing POTA or, you know, doing field day or whatever. You know, the radio sits on the desk. It's you know, you want to tilt it up, and the little stand that comes with them isn't enough. So I use those the other way around. So basically the radio is up in the air. So the back of the radio would be along where the bottom of the keyboard would be.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get them from IKEA for like $4, and you can cut them because they're some kind of plastic. I don't know how much those are, but that's a big one because it's made for a keyboard. The ones I use are, I've actually got a really cool metal one, but I use them for, as I say, put the radio basically facing away from us. So the radio's up at, you know, an angle so you can see, you know, what the controls are. You can see the screen, see what frequency you're on, and all the rest of it.
Right.
So
now,
this is a big program. I'm downloading it, and it's taking a while to download.
It's it's a full video editing suite. I mean, it does a lot of things.
now this other one is already in the chat room too. I don't remember whether we even talked about this product or not before, but I got a hold of one of these.
Oh yeah.
A friend had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you what, the last week and a half, I've had more fun than you could imagine. This thing does DMR, D-Star, and Fusion.
Yes, I want one.
I know, it $110 from a reputable place. Amazon sells them for $149.95, so they're out on that. But that you download the free software called Blue DV, and there you go. That's all you need. It works great. If you like the digital modes, $110 is a very minimal investment.
I want to use one of these, and I want to be able to link. Use.
Does it-
Go ahead, Joseph.
Can it do 2 meter or is it UHF only?
It's independent of radio. It goes over the internet.
No, I mean the dongle has to got to connect to a radio, right? Or is it just
Yeah.
software?
It's just software and a chip, but there's no RF components.
Oh, so it's just got the encoder in there.
Right. It's got the Ambi 3000 decoder in it.
Yeah, that thing. Okay, that's pretty cool.
But you
Yeah.
should still be able to hook that right up to. I mean, your computer would have audio in and out, and you would just hook that into a radio, and you should be able to make a radio out of it, right?
Well, yeah, but I just listen to it on the computer speakers.
No, I understand. But what I'm trying to do is I want to take an old computer and I want to have this set up to where when there's an emergency, I can hit a button and it will link this VHF repeater with this system, with this DMR repeater, with it. And I want to be able to link things together only when there's something going on. You see what I'm saying? So that we can get, I want people to be able to use like the DMR system to still be able to talk into the local area here when there's big things going on. We've got a lot of people that are out of area. They evacuate because of the storm. They want to know what's going on.
Well, I think it has Vox.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's got Vox and the radio has Vox, then it should work both ways. And so that's why if I can find out for sure that this will do what I want to do, I'll go ahead and buy it. I mean, I'm right there.
Software. I mean, I guess you've got to have software to run it, haven't you?
Yeah, it's free. It's called Blue DV.
Oh, okay.
You Google that and you can see what it's like. Let me start the program and look real quick and see if it has Vox.
Well, just about anything.
All right. Think it does. Come on. That's it. Yep. Ambi server. It does have Ambi server.
That's interesting. He's a Dutch amateur ham.
Yeah.
See his name? Dutch ham amateur.
He's the same guy that
He's an amateur ham judge.
oh
Yeah,
god.
he's a ham amateur. He's got both names.
Did he I think he did the oh yeah, he did Peanut. He's the guy that did Peanut. Okay, it has the Ambi server, which you can set up with a host IP. It has push to talk keying that goes through serial port. And I'm looking to see, I don't see Vox. Not there at any rate.
Well, if it's got serial PTT, it could be done that way too.
And let's see if I look here. Yes, Vox. It's on one of the tabs, and you can set the hang time and the Vox level. You can set the microphone and speaker gains for all three modes separately, which if you've ever done cross moding, that's very handy.
Yeah. I want to find whatever system. I don't necessarily want to do all three of them or anything, but I would love for people to be able to have a DMR radio that they could drive away from here on. And then when they're at a shelter location, or let's say they're at a hotel up in the Jacksonville area while they're sheltering, they can still get to us down here and find out what's going on. The biggest problem people have is if I leave my home, I will lose contact with everyone and everything and what's going on with my home. And I want to try to bridge that gap too. And the way I want to do that is to try to hopefully keep things connected. I've got redundant internet here. I've got 2 different sources of internet here, and I'm hoping to stay online as long as possible. And a lot of times a storm will hit, the beach gets it, Charlotte County gets it, Collier County gets it. I may still be on here, and I can provide a link from the VHF system over to a digital system so that people can come in from out of the area. That's what I'm thinking. And I can't believe nobody's ever done this yet, but or maybe it has been somewhere else. I don't know. But I want to get our WatchNet up on DMR or up on one of the systems. I don't care which, in a room. And then that way, anyone anywhere else can connect to that room, either through a system, through a node, through a computer, however, and find and listen to the WatchNet or talk on the WatchNet anyway. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay, that concludes what I had tonight. So I'm going to open it back up to everybody who has something that they would like to bring forward
There
tonight.
you go, something.
Well, following on from Chris's thing, I've got this, okay, which doesn't look fantastic. What it is actually a laptop holder.
Oh yeah.
So this was really upmarket. This was $8. Trying to find a camera that it works on. There you go. This is $8, and this one actually really sexy. It folds up, so it's flat. And as you can see, I put my radio on there.
Oh, it'll
So-
clip right on there even.
Yeah, fits on. So that stops the radio slipping off the back, and I can view the radio from the front up here.
Yeah.
So the front of the radio would be there. So, and this is a laptop jack up thing, and this was off on, I don't know who makes this, New Alex or something, you know. But anyway, that's following on from what Chris did.
There you go.
Speaking
All righty.
of which, does anybody
Go ahead.
does anybody know anything about these Chromebook cheap laptops?
I know that
Yeah.
the one I've worked on and the other person I know that has one, both I wouldn't get one. They don't they yes, they were both the 2 people I've known that have gotten them, including my grandchild who's very smart. Both have said no, that they don't run a lot of programs. They
That's what I
don't
was
do
worried
a lot
about.
of things. Right. They just don't do all the things that a regular computer will do. And you're much better off just looking for a good deal on a regular Windows machine or something.
Ian,
Yeah.
Ian,
Go ahead.
on those
Yeah.
on those Chromebooks, I know a fella got one, and it wasn't compatible with a lot of the software that the radio
Yeah.
community uses.
Exactly.
Hey, thanks
Yeah.
for the show tonight, by the way. Good to
Well,
see
thanks
you,
for being
Ian,
here,
and
Rick.
everyone
I
else.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Good, great show as usual.
All right. Well, I
Later.
really appreciate that. Thank you
Yes,
very
where
much.
are you?
I'm on Sanibel Island.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah, and I couldn't make contact. There's nobody on the repeater here on island. Like you say, they're quiet all day. But I'm going to try
All
you.
day.
I'm going to see if I can get you at 775 tomorrow, Ian.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk to you
I'll
later.
keep it turned up in here. Give me a shout. And I'll tell you something. The Loggerhead net on Sunday nights at 7:30 is one of my favorite nets, and it's right there in Sanibel on the Sanibel repeater.
Good to know. I'll be leaving tomorrow or Sunday.
Um,
But hey, I'll be talking to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
Okay, very good. Yep. All right. Well, good. Well, welcome to the area, and we hope you come back. Yeah, Sanibel's great. It's a wonderful island out there, and Captiva and everything. It's just awesome. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Let's who's got something? Who's next?
Looks like Dave.
But back to Chris and his cheap Chromebook.
Bank
You can
account.
actually get this is a laptop. It runs Windows 11. It's not fantastic, but I use it for PODA and all the rest of it. It's fairly quick. You can get this from Best Buy with a 128 gig hard drive, 4 gig of RAM. And I'll show you how quick it takes to boot up. I've just switched it on. So it's not super fast.
Does it have a
But
solid
it-
state drive?
Yes, but it's not an SSD. It's whatever the M2 thing is.
Yeah, that's the deal they solder in. So you
Yeah, but
can't
this is
repeat it.
$149.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
and for the
that's
for
right.
the for the price of a Chromebook, you can actually get you an honest to goodness Windows machine.
Well, this is cheaper than
Yeah.
the Pi. Because if you think about a Raspberry Pi, this has got a screen, this has got a keyboard,
Mhm.
and a case and a power supply. Everything's built in. It runs forever on the battery. It's really cool. It's not. It's just. You know. I mean, there are those $60 laptops that a lot of people are talking about. I haven't got one of those. I've got a friend that's got one, and it's a little bit cricky. This one is really solid, and it's made by a good company. And it's you know, you can get it on. It's like close to $200 if you buy it on Amazon, but from Best Buy, it's $149.95, and I cannot recommend it enough. I mean, it's solid, you know, it's not cheap. And, you know, for $149, I'd take it out in the field because I don't want any of my expensive crap, you know, to slip off of a desk or a bench, you know, out in the field or get dropped or whatever. And, you know, I use it for PODA. And
Oh yeah,
whatever,
for
field
for
days.
you could use it for FT8. You could use it for just about
yeah.
anything we would do. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got, if you want to see, hang on to.
What did you use for your search criteria on the Best Buy website when?
Well, don't put your address in.
No.
Don't tell it where you are because you've got to
Ah.
buy it online. They don't keep it in the store. So I was going to. I'm trying to run backwards here, but yeah, I just put in cheap laptop. It's an ASUS. I can't remember the model number. They actually do them for 128, but it's only got 20. It's only got like I don't know, 40, 50, 64, something like that meg hard drive, and it's I don't know. There's two things that are cheaper, but for $20 more, I figured, you know, I'd go with this one. So yeah, there's it working on regular website, but if I go down here, I've got it working on but it needs to be connected for FT8 to work. But there's the login software. It should be. Yeah, there's. It's really difficult to do working ass backwards. But
Yeah.
there's, you know, there's the login software. That's the. I mean, it's a great little computer for $140. So you can actually get it 128. But I say it is cheaper and unfortunately better, I think, than a Raspberry Pi, because you know this is it. It's a 14-inch screen as well. It's not like one of the little 9 or 10-inch screens. It does work up on 19 volts, not 12 volts, which is a little bit of a shame. It's got really limited facilities. It's got let me see if I can show you here. It's only got one USB on either side. I cannot work backwards. And also I've got a bit of a delay, which doesn't help. So it's got one USB on either side. It's got a video out, HDMI out. It's got a, what's the other little socket? Oh, it's got a mini.
It's a mini
HDMI or
USB, isn't it?
something.
USB-C?
Yeah, mini USB, regular USB. It's got microphone out, headphones out, and on this side it's just got USB. But $149. You can get 120 out of set if you're only interested in 64 meg of hard drive. I figured for $20 I'd go for that. Oh, it's got better video out. So it's got better video. For $20 you get better video and another 64 meg of hard drive. So
Yeah, I would
figured it was
definitely
worth it.
get the upgrade on that for sure.
Yeah.
But,
And you
but
can
yeah,
get it.
that's the way to go.
I think this, but there is, you know, I don't know if you've seen on the internet. I'm trying to think what it's called, Micro City. Oh, you might have one up by you,
Micro
Joseph.
Center.
Micro Center. They've
Yeah.
got laptops for $60.
Yeah, Micro
Now,
Center.
they're not as good as these, the Micro Center, but they're, you know, again, if you want to take them out in the field, you just want to run a login program, use the internet, and use you know, FT8 or something like that. For $60, they're, you know, stunning. But they're not that great. The case is not fantastic. They're not a patch on these for double the money.
Wow.
So, you know, I mean, $128, I tell you, I'm blown away. Okay, I just loaded this software and it says I've got to upgrade my graphics drivers.
Oh boy.
So, but this is quite an old computer. I gotta, you know, I think I'm gonna do what you did and get a computer with, because this is the half-size Dell 7110 or something. I don't know what the info is on it, but it's.
I'm
not that
telling you,
great.
just I will never buy another machine. I will from now on. I'm just going to build what I need. I'm going to.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally I spent under $1,000 and I have 7 screens hooked up to a 12-core processor, and I want you to know that I've done some ignorant shit with this computer and I can't get it to stop. I got here one day and my wife says, "How many videos will it play at one time?" Well, I got bored when I got up to about 20 videos playing at the same time. I had 20 different little windows on all my little screens, all playing different videos. I actually found a video that is an hour long. That's all the screens that are all around the enterprise. And they're all moving and they're all moving all around and all that. So eventually I'm going to put that on all 19 of my screens in here at one time and take some pictures. It should be pretty cool. Should be pretty cool. But I have tried everything with this computer and I can't slow it down. So this last week I went and I had bought Grand Theft Auto 5 a long time ago, back a couple years ago. And I installed it into this system. I can play that game on one screen while I'm still doing 5 other things. So the other day, a couple days ago, I was compiling that video. I went and set it to compile again because I wanted to see something. While it's compiling the video, okay, I watched 4 other videos on 4 screens and played Grand Theft Auto in the middle screen, and there was no skipping or lagging.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap, NASA needs this computer, okay? We can figure out the distance of pi with this thing, okay? I mean, it's really cool. So I'm sold on it. I'll never buy some piece of shit again like I've always bought. My whole life I bought this laptop. Here's one exception to that. Most of the computers I bought in my life have always been garbage. I get them. They're terrible. They're slow. They're horrible. This thing, I built it myself, and it is a rocket. It literally sits here and does everything as fast as I need to do it. I've got 5 video sources coming into it all at one time, and you can see here it'll play all of them. Look, no skipping, no. I mean, it's crazy when you look at it. It's just amazing. That it will do all of these things all at one time and do more. It'll play, and it's crazy. So anyway,
and it's got flashing LEDs as well, hasn't it?
Yes, it does. It's got a beautiful box over here with flashing lights. You can see it in let's see, it's in this screen right here. That's it right there. That purple that you see right there. That's the actual thing right there. That's the computer sitting right over there. And,
I've got one little note. You know, the Enterprise isn't real.
Yeah, it is. I saw it.
Actually, there really, yeah, you're right. There is a ship.
I saw it. It's at the Smithsonian.
It was,
and only real ships get into the Smithsonian.
Okay. When you say it's got 120 cameras all around it or something, I was thinking, you know, it's not real. You know, but.
It is absolutely real.
Driving down here someplace.
Yeah.
not the 1701 series.
Yes. Yeah, it is actually absolutely real. It's sitting in the Smithsonian.
It was a multi-masted schooner type ship, wasn't it?
What are you talking about?
No,
The
isn't it a
The original one. The Enterprise wasn't it like from
Well,
the 1800s?
yeah. The HMS Enterprise was an English ship a long time ago, I guess. I don't know much
No,
about that.
there's a modern naval ship.
I thought there was a modern naval. I thought it was an aircraft carrier.
There is, and we've also
Yeah.
we had it. The first space shuttle was named Enterprise after that one.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the closest one.
they keep bringing the name back because it's popular.
That's
Yep.
the best
It's
one.
also a rental company. Hang on, I'm trying to find Enterprise ship. I'm doing the Google.
Rent
Yeah.
Enterprise.
Well, and I'm gonna, because I'm totally a nerd, I'm gonna show it to you. This is actually a video here. That's it sitting in the Smithsonian. The actual 16-foot model that they shot the show with has actually been completely restored by the Smithsonian.
Yeah, but
It's
hang
the
on,
no-
you can't stand in the engine room with Scotty or be in the
No,
whatever it was,
it's a show.
No, he's dead, man. You can't stand with him anywhere.
No, that's right. O'Hara or whatever her name is, she died the other day. USS Enterprise was a hero ship of World War II, and that was a aircraft carrier.
Mhm.
So there is no current mega warship, or not listed here. There isn't anyway. So the last USS Enterprise was it was called Battle 360, was the aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But anyway, the refurb they did on the model ship here was amazing. The lighting, it's just absolutely amazing. All the work that went into this. They literally, I was hoping it would show it in this video, but I don't think it is. But they actually took the entire ship apart. Oh, here it's towards the end. They took the entire ship apart when they got it, and they did everything, including matching paint colors and everything, because they wanted it to be exactly the way it was back when they shot it. And so they completely took it apart and refurbed it. And now it sits in the Smithsonian, and every hour or so the lights come on for like 10 minutes. And it's really cool, dude. It's the actual ship that you saw when you watched the show. It was the actual thing that they shot, that it was the ship. So anyway, I
It's
just
not
thought
an
that was cool.
expensive toy then. It's
Yeah. And here's the cool thing about this. It's the only fake ship that has ever been in the Smithsonian. And the reason it's there is because of its history, and so much of what's in the Smithsonian comes from the same history. And so a lot of those people that made things that are in the Smithsonian, they made those things because they were inspired by things like Star Trek and things like that. So anyway,
like the flip phone.
Yeah, the flip phone, everything we use today. I mean, it's amazing. They're working on all the different things that you saw in Star Trek. There's some things that we're getting close to. We already have communicators that you can talk all over the entire world that fit in your pocket, that flip open. We already have that. But are we going to get phasers and that we carry around and shoot people with? Sure. Well, we've already got something that shoots electrodes now and tases people. We will eventually have that. I think that those use wires. We're only probably 30, 40 years away from being able to direct that energy where we need it to go. Other things like warp drive, I think is going to be further away. I think we're several hundred years from developing faster than light transport, because in order to develop faster than light transport, you have to conquer gravity first, because it would take years to get up the light speed without scrambling your eggs. I mean, think about the pressure when you're riding in a Mustang. Think about getting thrown back in the seat. Okay. When you hit the gas. Okay.
Mustang. Come on. Seriously?
or whatever stupid car you got to drive. I don't get into sports cars. I don't really give a shit. But I'm just saying, when you're in a sports car and it throws you back in the seat, we're only talking 1G, maybe 2, and it throws you back in the seat. You know, when these guys are up in planes, up in these fighter jets, they're getting 6 or 8 Gs. That's 6 or 8 times the pull of gravity. When you get above that, you lose consciousness. Okay. In order to travel the speed of light, you would have to pull 8 Gs for like a year in order to get there. So there's just, it's impossible to even fathom light speed until you have figured out a way to nullify the effects of inertia. Okay. So conquering gravity, being able to turn gravity in on itself and being able to nullify the effects of inertia, those all have to be invented first. Then we invent how we make the thing go fast, because until you figure out how to survive going fast, there's no sense in even developing the motor yet, because we can't go that fast. Humans cannot go that fast. Even our current technology cannot survive that. You know, when they show these alien spacecraft that the government keeps showing us now, the government, by the way, they're acclimating us. We're in the age of discovery right now, the age where we're actually going to find out what's been going on, because it's reached a point of being an absolute threat. When we see these things out there and they move at 1,000 miles an hour, 2,000 miles an hour, and then they suddenly stop and move this way at 2,000 miles an hour, the inertia alone, the inertia in there alone would be anywhere from 60 Gs to 100 Gs, going from 0 to 1,000 and back to 0 to 1,000, making a left turn 0 to 1,000. It's 100 Gs. Our current technology cannot survive that kind of G forces.
But that only applies when you're within Earth's magnetic and gravitational field. Once you're out into space, then none of those things apply, surely.
That's not true. Inertia applies the exact same in space as it does on Earth. If you're in a spaceship and the spaceship begins to move in one direction, your body moves in the other direction at the same speed, because your body is not attached to the ship. So inertia works the same whether you're in your car driving down the road or we're in a spacecraft in space. Inertia works the same way, and we would have to conquer inertia in order to travel at those great speeds.
Well, no, because ISS is traveling at 15,000 miles per hour.
That's correct. That's correct. And it took
But
a
they're
long
not all
time.
slammed back against the hull.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Well, once the Mustang reaches 100 miles an hour, you're no longer pinned back in the seat, are you? That only happens during the time where you're accelerating from 0 to 100. Once you reach 100, you in the car are now traveling at the same speed. There's no differential. Once we reach that neutral differential, there's no more inertia.
So that's what I'm saying is so it doesn't matter if that initial acceleration, once you're in space, it doesn't really count, because you just get up to those speeds. There's no resistance, there's no friction or anything
on
like
the
that.
outside of the ship. Yeah.
On the outside of the ship, there's no magnetic pull pulling you back as such to Earth. So
Right.
You can accelerate much quicker to get to that speed where you're both the body inside and the machine is going at the same speed.
But inertia still counts on the inside of the spacecraft. So in other words, when you're in there, if you want to accelerate from 0 to 100,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, you just don't do it in a second. It takes you a few minutes to get there.
Minutes? Try years.
Well,
I mean,
okay,
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If we're going from 0 to 100,000, I mean, we're talking the speed of light. We're talking, what is it, over 100 and something thousand miles an hour, hundreds of thousands of miles an hour. In order to get to that,
meters per second.
186,000.
Right.
It's 300 million meters per second.
Astronomical speed. It would take us years and years and years and years to reach the speed at the most G's that we could possibly handle. And the thing is, our body can handle 8 G's for a short period of time. But my mic just fell off. But for a long period of time, we cannot handle that. So you can't stay pinned in a seat at 8 G's for 100 years. And that's how long it's going to take to get to the speed of light. That's the problem we're dealing with, is it literally is going to take forever to get to the speed of light, because you're going to have to go so incredibly slow so that you don't kill the occupants. That's why people are saying, well, if we use machines, we can accelerate a lot faster. That's true. With machines, you can accelerate a lot faster, but it's still going to be very slow. It's still going to take a very long time to get to that speed. I don't know how else to explain it other than when we're in space, the same exact laws of physics apply in space that apply here. What we have to do is figure out a way to put something in front of the ship, a plate, for instance, in front of the ship, in the front of the room that you're standing in. And when the ship begins to move forward, this plate would draw you towards it at the same rate. So you would not feel the effects of inertia, because the plate in front of you is drawing you towards it like gravity at the exact same rate that inertia is pulling you backwards. Gene Roddenberry knew this in the 60s. Until you can nullify the effects of gravity, we're never going to travel at fast speeds.
So basically, if you just hold a bullet up in the air, and then, the ISS comes along at 15,000 miles an hour.
Yes.
That's roughly 15 times the speed of a bullet.
Yes. It would go right through it like a bullet.
Right
even though the bullet's not even moving.
Yeah, the bullet will be standing still. Yeah.
Right. Because the space station's ballistic.
Yeah. 15,000 miles an hour. I mean, what is it?
It's 15 times ballistic. Yeah.
Yeah, 720 miles an hour is the speed of sound. What's the Mark 1 is?
Mach 1 is around 730,
740 miles an
hour, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's only traveling at 15,000 miles an hour because it's up in an atmosphere where there isn't any resistance. I guess it's still got the drag of.
It does have a little drag, and it also has a little bit of interaction with gravity because it's in a low Earth orbit. But the guys inside actually have microgravity. They're still close enough to Earth that they have microgravity. If they completely null their rates inside, in other words, they completely float in the middle, they will eventually move towards the side closest to Earth. There is microgravity up there. They are not technically weightless. And that's because even in a low Earth orbit, you're going to feel the effects of our gravity. So,
yeah.
On that note, I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I just so you grasp the gravity of the situation.
Well, it was fun, and now I've got to try to get to sleep.
Yeah, to be honest with you guys, I was going to call it 10 minutes ago. I'm done. I'm really done. But you started talking about something I'm interested in just as much as radios. All right, so
see you next week.
See you next week, man. Have a good one, everybody. Have a great night out there. We'll go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you guys later. I'll be on the 775 all weekend. We'll be monitoring this storm. If there is some dramatic change, I will send an updated email. You guys know that.
It doesn't look like it. The 11 o'clock bulletin just came in. It's 60 miles an hour. It's right over the Northern Islands, and the cone has it just about the same as before.
Yeah, there we go. There's the 11. Okay, well, yeah, so I'm going to watch it. I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to be much. I don't think it's going to be much. But yeah, there's the 11 o'clock. They did bring the sustained winds up to 60.
60, yeah.
So but yeah, they're not showing any change here. And I think that's what it's going to do. And they're showing the hurricane there as of Tuesday. So all right, guys, we'll go ahead and call it. Everybody have a great night out there. This is the Southwest Florida TechNet. If you want to find out more, go to swfltech.net. That's swfltech.net. The link is in the description. Please give us a subscribe and a like and watch our videos. It really helps us with the algorithms so that we can get this out to more people. All right. Ham radio is a wonderful hobby and we all love being in it. So join us. We'd love it.
Texas QSO party tomorrow.
Yeah,
You know, and we did not get yes. Sorry, Dave. Real quick, we did not get into it, but there is a number of contests tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was actually quite surprised at the number. As a matter of fact, there was so many that I had to use like a truncated list when I put them in. So you guys check that out. I've got it right here. Just give me 1 second. I'll show you real quick here. I know we were getting ready to sign off, but here it is. This is the contest. There's a bunch of stuff this weekend. There's the Texas QSO and the Iowa QSO.
Oh yeah. That's right.
There's also the ARRL 10 gigahertz and up. I don't know who's doing that. There's also the EME, Earth Moon Earth, VHF, UHF. There's a bunch of these. New Hampshire QSO as well. That's another state. New Jersey QSO. And there's also
that's a communist
Wisconsin.
area. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, but nobody's perfect. We'll send them some more immigrants. Oh, did I say that out loud? All right. All right. Yeah, no politics. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Everybody have a good night out there. This is the Southwest Florida TechNet Worldwide.